Chapter 5:12. Goddess Bing Wei's eyebrows furrowed and worry flashed in her eyes as she glanced at Xiao Feng. The tea gathering had reached its later stage. The other peerless geniuses and the experts of the first tier had fought one another. However, of the overwhelming prodigies, only Xiao Feng hadn't fought yet. Neither the geniuses of the first tier nor the normal true dragon geniuses had challenged Xiao Feng. However, this situation was also reasonable. After all, of the four overwhelming prodigies, Xiao Feng's cultivation was the highest at the early stage True Lord rank. As for the other overwhelming prodigies, Goddess Bing Wei and Shi Qingtian were both at the early stage True Lord rank while Zhang Yuyue was still at the half-step True Lord rank. They didn't have the fortune Xiao Feng had to break through to the early stage True Lord rank in one step. Thinking back to when Xiao Feng was only at the true human rank, he fought against an overwhelming prodigy at the true mystic rank. Now that he's reached the true lord rank, his cultivation has suppressed all the other true dragon geniuses present. The gazes of the true dragon geniuses landed on Xiao Feng with respect and even admiration. The gazes of the true dragon geniuses all moved away from Xiao Feng without any hesitation. Not only is Xiao Feng's cultivation stronger than the other overwhelming prodigies, his eye bloodline has swept through the last sacred true dragon gathering. The first-tier true dragon geniuses such as Mo Tianyi, Qin Kunwu, Taba Feng and company were filled with wariness. The true dragon geniuses of the northern continent knew how terrifying Xiao Feng was. In the past half a year, Xiao Feng had shocked the Canopy Great Country and killed the older true lord ranks, becoming the deputy patriarch of the Iron Blood religion. This news had spread across the northern continent. If they challenged other overwhelming prodigies, they still had a sliver of a chance and could at least put on a good show. However, if they challenged Xiao Feng, they might be instantly killed without being able to fight back. Brother Zhao has been sitting there for a long time and no one has challenged him. Could it be that everyone here thinks he's the number one genius of the true dragon sect? Goddess Bing Wei slowly stood up and her words were filled with provocation as she pointed the spearhead towards Xiao Feng. The true dragon's number one genius? When these words were spoken, it was like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples, causing a great controversy. He didn't defeat the other peerless geniuses, he didn't defeat Yu Tianhao. What gives him the right to come first? The true dragon's top genius? He, even if I lose, I still want to experience it. Ha! It would be a great honor to be able to spar with the number one genius of the true dragon sect. Everyone fixed their eyes on Xiao Feng. Goddess Bing Wei faintly smiled, her plan had succeeded. Most importantly, the title of number one genius of the true dragon clan was placed on Xiao Feng's shoulders. I, Huang Tiankui, want to see the strength of the number one genius of the true dragon clan. A true mystic rank true dragon genius flashed to the center of the field. Finally, the first person at the tea party dared to challenge Xiao Feng. Some of the true dragon geniuses let out a long breath, as if they had been suppressed for a long time. This Huang Tiankui wore an azure battle robe and held a broken golden axe in his hand. His body glowed like a god of war. Although the golden axe in his hand was broken, it had a powerful battle intent that pierced through the clouds and into the universe. It's an inheritance axe. The battle intent within this golden axe is at least comparable to the peak true lord rank. I didn't see Huang Tiankui use it in the previous battles. Exclamations came from the tea party. Although Huang Tiankui only had the cultivation of the early stages of the true mystic rank, the battle intent radiating from his golden axe was even stronger than normal true lord ranks. The true dragon's number one genius is enough for me to use this legacy battle axe that came from a foreign inheritance. Huang Tiankui's battle intent reached its peak, dominating the sky river. The instant Huang Tiankui's axe slashed out, a surge of true lord rank mental energy battle intent resonated with the heaven-earth yuan qi and a blinding golden axe light dozens of yards long slashed through the sky. The powerful battle intent and inherited battle skills made everyone below the level of a peerless genius shudder, as if they were undefeatable. Xiao Feng stood still as his blue hair blew in the wind. Facing such an attack, he sighed, what a powerful mental energy battle intent. Unfortunately, you haven't comprehended its essence yet. As soon as he said this, dang, a thumb-thick beam of wind and lightning shot out from Zhao Feng's fingertip and brushed past Huang Tiankui's golden axe. Woo! Huang Tiankui's body froze as the golden axe in his hand was sent flying by a powerful force. Dang! The golden axe fell to the ground, its battle intent dissipating, and a sigh of regret could be heard. How is this possible? Master said that if I use this axe at full power, I can exchange a few blows with a true lord rank. Huang Tiankui was slightly dazed. Before challenging Zhao Feng, he knew that his chances of winning weren't high and just wanted to show off his face at the tea party. If he could exchange blows with the number one genius of the True Dragon sect for a while, he would be proud even if he lost. However, he never would have thought that his full power attack wouldn't be able to beat a casual attack from Zhao Feng. Huang Tiankui, you relied too much on external items and didn't comprehend the essence of the inheritance axe. The three-eyed saint's emotionless voice sounded. It was obvious that Qin Kunwu was using a profound inheritance secret technique, and adding on the fact that his intent was extraordinary, he could fight against a true lord rank for a short period of time. Not bad, his intent is very compatible with nature. Zhao Feng nodded his head in approval. From this scene, it seemed that Qin Kunwu wouldn't be far from breaking through to the half-step true lord rank or even the true lord rank. Of course, he wouldn't go easy on him. Wind lightning tornado. A dark azure ball of lightning appeared in Zhao Feng's palm and started to expand, forming a tornado of lightning. Boom! The wind thunder tornado instantly engulfed Qin Kunwu's attack in a domineering manner. Those vast hands of light didn't even last for half a breath of time before they shattered. The powerful lightning storm didn't dissipate, but instead, it pushed Qin Kunwu back. Dang! 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 Qin Kunwu's face was filled with shock as he retreated. However, his body was scorched black. Wah! Under the pressure of the wind, Qin Kunwu spat out a mouthful of blood and his face went white. Seeing this, Zhao Feng waved his hand and dissipated the remaining power. However, even then, Qin Kunwu staggered and almost fell to the ground as he admitted defeat. Another one-move victory. If Zhao Feng didn't go easy, Qin Kunwu's life would be in danger. Another uproar broke out. Even someone as strong as Qin Kunwu had been instantly killed by Zhao Feng without being able to fight back. The hearts of the first-tier geniuses and the overwhelming prodigies were solemn. The other overwhelming prodigies might be able to defeat Qin Kunwu quickly, but it would be very difficult for them to do what Zhao Feng did. This Zhao Feng has already grown to such a level. Furthermore, he hasn't even used his eye bloodline yet. Goddess Bing Wei's heart shook. Up to now, Zhao Feng's strength was only the tip of the iceberg. It was hard to estimate his true strength. After Qin Kunwu lost, the three-eyed saint gave his evaluation. Qin Kunwu, although you lost, it's an honorable defeat because your opponent's cultivation far surpasses yours. This kind of suppression doesn't require any technique. This evaluation was clearly praising Qin Kunwu but also faintly belittling Zhao Feng. In other words, Zhao Feng was just relying on his high cultivation to suppress the weak. His method of victory was extremely crude and lacking in technique. Zhao Feng laughed it off. Back when his cultivation wasn't as high as others, although he won many times, it was still difficult. But now, he liked this style of crushing his opponents with his cultivation base. It was easy and comfortable, and he liked it. After Qin Kunwu lost, several more true dragon geniuses challenged Zhao Feng. However, there was only one result for them. Instant kill in one move. Zhao Feng stood there calmly and defeated his opponent in one move every time. Even taking turns to fight him was meaningless. Chapter 5:13. In just the time it took to make a cup of tea, Zhao Feng had defeated more than a dozen true dragon geniuses in one move each time. The spectators from all over the continent were dumbfounded, and their hearts trembled in fear. How was this a spar? This was a one-sided slaughter. Zhao Feng stood calmly on the potholed ground. The dust had yet to settle and he was still as calm as ever. At this point in time, the tea party was silent. No one continued to challenge Zhao Feng. Even without using his eye bloodline, Zhao Feng's battle power is at the level of an overwhelming prodigy and even surpasses a normal overwhelming prodigies. The dozens of true dragon geniuses were stunned. Everyone no longer looked at Zhao Feng with pure respect, but also admiration from the bottom of their hearts. The blue-haired youth in front of them seemed so far away that they could no longer reach him. Goddess Bing Wei's expression became more solemn. From start to finish, Zhao Feng had defeated them in one move and hadn't been able to force him to use his eye bloodline. From the strength that Zhao Feng had displayed so far, neither Goddess Bing Wei nor Shi Qingtian had a high chance of winning. Time continued. There was still no one who challenged Zhao Feng. Shi Qingtian, Zhang Yuyue, and Tan Lanyue didn't seem to have any intentions of fighting. Goddess Bing Wei was slightly anxious. It was fine if Shi Qingtian and Tan Lanyue didn't challenge him, but they had both lost to Zhao Feng in the last sacred true dragon gathering. However, without an overwhelming prodigy, it was hard to see Zhao Feng's true strength. He, if no one continues to challenge me. Zhao Feng smiled warmly. The crowd was dead silent. Then, Zhao Feng's gaze suddenly turned toward the three-eyed saint. Since Yu Tianhao wasn't here this time, the three-eyed saint was Zhao Feng's only target. The change in Zhao Feng's gaze attracted the attention of the other true dragon geniuses. He was just about to issue a challenge when Goddess Bing Wei laughed. Zhao Feng, you've already fought more than a dozen battles, leave some chances for the other true dragon geniuses. Zhao Feng was taken aback. He gave her a slight nod and left the stage. After all, Goddess Bing Wei was the host of the tea party and Zhao Feng couldn't forcefully disobey. Only after Zhao Feng left the stage did the true dragon geniuses let out a breath and the heavy stone in their hearts was lifted. Once Zhao Feng was present, the other geniuses would have no chance. If Goddess Bing Wei didn't stop, Zhao Feng would most likely sweep through all the true dragon geniuses and the tea party would lose its meaning. After a period of time, some of the true dragon geniuses that hadn't gone up yet went up and displayed their skills. Some of the battles were very exciting and the crowd cheered. Even though Zhao Feng's previous battle had been a shocking display of power, it was still not enough to stop him. But every time he killed his opponent, there was no suspense, so there wasn't much danger. 10 o'clock at night. Tuoba Qi, one of the three-eye bloodline families, walked to the center of the field. Tuoba Qi. The hearts of the true dragon geniuses clenched. The successors of the three-eye bloodline families were all present at this tea party. The three-eyed saint, Tuoba Qi, and the ghost-eyed man represented the three strongest eye bloodline inheritors of the continent. Heavenly piercing eye. A cold light flashed in Tuoba Qi's eyes. Shoo! A bloody gash appeared on the face of a true dragon genius that extended all the way to his chin. If it had gone a bit deeper, it would have sliced through his throat. The true dragon geniuses present all took in a cold breath. Most of them couldn't even see the trajectory of Tuoba Qi's eye bloodline. Only people like the three-eyed saint, Zhao Feng, and the ghost-eyed man could see the trajectory of Tuoba Qi's attacks with their eye bloodlines. Otherwise, even a normal overwhelming prodigy would be killed by Tuoba Qi's sneak attack. A face-to-face battle is very disadvantageous for Tuoba Qi. Those peerless geniuses have strong senses, so they can defend themselves before Tuoba Qi makes his move. Zhao Feng understood the situation. However, even then, Tuoba Qi was almost unrivaled as long as he didn't challenge an overwhelming prodigy. As expected, Tuoba Qi defeated 4 or 5 true dragon geniuses in an instant. Even 2 first-tier true dragon geniuses lost to Tuoba Qi. Zhao Feng. A sharp light flashed in Tuoba Qi's eyes as he locked onto Zhao Feng and released a surge of battle intent. This time, his target was Xiao Feng. The geniuses in the tea party couldn't help but look forward to it. After all, both Tuoba Chi and Xiao Feng were famous for their eye bloodlines in the sacred True Dragon Gathering. Furthermore, Xiao Feng and Tuoba Chi didn't have a true showdown in the sacred True Dragon Gathering. That's good. I beat the ghost-eyed man in the sacred True Dragon Gathering last time. I'll be able to experience the other two eye bloodline families at this tea party. Xiao Feng nodded his head faintly. Goddess Bing Wei's eyes lit up. This eye bloodline battle should be able to test out Xiao Feng's strength. On the empty ground, Xiao Feng and Tuoba Chi faced each other from 100 yards away. Make your move. Xiao Feng didn't circulate his chi of true spirit and just stood there. A weird light flashed through Tuoba Chi's eyes. His heavenly piercing eyes' attack speed was extremely fast, and if the opponent wasn't prepared, even a true lord rank would die. It wasn't like Tuoba Chi hadn't killed a true lord rank before. Even an overwhelming prodigy would have to prepare their defenses when facing Tuoba Chi. However, Xiao Feng didn't do anything. Just this point made Tuoba Chi secretly admire him. However, his attack wouldn't show any mercy. This was because the opponent in front of him stood at the peak of the sacred True Dragon Gathering and his talent surpassed dozens of generations. Heavenly piercing eye. Tuoba Chi didn't move as a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Shua. From such a distance, the invisible blade almost instantly hit Xiao Feng. Too fast. The heavenly piercing eye's attack was firstly fast and secondly invisible, making it impossible to see its trajectory. The instant the heavenly piercing eye was used, Xiao Feng felt a coldness on his skin. Ding! An azure arc of wind and lightning appeared on Xiao Feng's index finger, and as if by accident, it clashed with an invisible flash of light. Shua! The invisible light dissipated and a layer of silver runes could be seen. Using your hand to block my heavenly piercing eye's attack. How did you do this? Tuoba Chi was stunned. This was the first time he had met a genius that could block his heavenly piercing eye's attack with their hands. Tuoba Chi knew how fast the heavenly piercing eye's attack was. When unprepared, those under the origin core realm would find it hard to dodge and could only circulate their chi of true spirit to defend. Using one's hand to block was the same as dodging. Heavenly piercing eye, heavenly cloud pierce. Tuoba Chi took a deep breath. His eyes shone with a sharp light that condensed into a needle and thread. Shua! A transparent silver line could be faintly seen piercing through the air and piercing through Xiao Feng's body. The sharpness of the attack this time was far more than twice as powerful as before. Even a true lord rank wouldn't be able to take it head-on with the sharpness of the metal element. Furthermore, this Xiao Feng didn't even put up any defenses beforehand. The three-eyed saint's expression changed. This heavenly piercing eye, heavenly cloud pierce can pierce through the defense of normal true lord ranks. On the other side, the ghost-eyed man's heart shook. He didn't expect Tuoba Chi's eye bloodline to reach a whole new level. Shua! Xiao Feng's figure was pierced by the silver line without any suspense. A smile appeared on Tuoba Chi's face, but it froze the next instant. The pierced Xiao Feng figure disappeared and was replaced by a glint of wind and lightning. He used his movement skill to dodge my eye bloodline. This. Even if my mind can keep up, how can my body not do it? Tuoba Chi's eyes bulged out and he was dazed. Impossible. Impossible. Tuoba Chi struggled and shook his head. In theory, no one under the origin core realm should be able to dodge his heavenly piercing eye. Even if his mind could keep up, his body wouldn't be able to react and could only circulate his chi of true spirit to defend. How did he do it? The three-eyed saint was slightly dazed. If it was him, he wouldn't be able to dodge Tuoba Chi's heavenly piercing eye with his body. At most, he could use his eye bloodline to defend. I admit defeat. How did you do it? Tuoba Chi took a deep breath, stood on the spot, and raised his hands. It was obvious that this scene had changed everything he knew. He could accept it if Zhao Feng was at the origin core realm, but there had never been a sovereign younger than 30 in the continent. It wasn't even possible in the outside world. It's very simple. 2 words, prediction. Zhao Feng's figure flickered through the air and appeared in front of Tuoba Chi in a flash. Prediction. Tuoba Chi revealed a bitter expression, so that's how it is. Even though Zhao Feng had comprehended the wind lightning tablet and was extremely fast, it wasn't easy for him to dodge the heavenly piercing eyes attack. There was no point in dodging Tuoba Chi's attack. In that case, the only way was to dodge Tuoba Chi's attack before it was launched. It didn't matter if it was a second earlier or a second later. If it was a second earlier, Tuoba Chi's heavenly piercing eye would lock onto him again. If it was a second later, the attack would have already been released. How did Zhao Feng predict my eye bloodline's attack? The three-eyed saint's heart shook. After all, Tuoba Chi's eye bloodline was one of the 3 great families of the continent, and it wasn't much weaker than the Golden Sun family. The way the heavenly piercing eye was used was extremely profound. The only way to do it was to control the slightest change in Tuoba Chi's eye bloodline. But was that even possible? The three-eyed saint's expression became solemn. Did Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye have the legendary prediction ability? According to what the three-eyed saint knew, the inheritances of the 8 great god eyes had a terrifying, prophetic, eye bloodline technique that could predict what would happen in the next few seconds or even longer. However, that was already at the level of looking into space-time. Even Void God Realm kings would find it hard to do that. Of course, the three-eyed saint was thinking about the legendary eye bloodline techniques. The prediction ability of Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye was based on his control and insight. Every change in Tuoba Chi's eye bloodline, including his chi of true spirit and bloodline aura, was under his control. This way, Zhao Feng could predict Tuoba Chi's next attack. Chapter 5:14. On the tea party field. The true dragon geniuses were stunned. Some of their eyes were wide open with disbelief. The battle between Zhao Feng and Tuoba Chi ended like this. Facing the successor of the Tuoba family, one of the 3 major eye bloodline families, Zhao Feng didn't even use any offensive eye bloodline techniques. He didn't even counterattack. However, he didn't even use a single move, but the successor of the Tuoba family immediately admitted defeat. He directly predicted my eye technique attack. My heavenly piercing eye is useless against him. Tuoba Chi took a deep breath and admitted defeat. The heavenly piercing eye attack that he was most proud of had been dodged by Zhao Feng's body. What was the point of fighting? After the sacred true dragon gathering, Zhao Feng has already defeated the successors of 2 major eye bloodline families. Of the 3 eye families, only the Golden Sun family hasn't fought with Zhao Feng yet. Doesn't that mean that as long as he defeats the three-eyed saint? At the tea party, the spectators from all over the continent began to discuss in private. During the sacred true dragon gathering, Zhao Feng had defeated the ghost-eyed man, who was also the successor of one of the 3 major eye bloodline families. And now, Zhao Feng had also defeated Tuoba Chi. Only one eye bloodline family was left, and it was the strongest eye bloodline inheritance on the continent. Thinking up to here, the true dragon geniuses became expectant. It could be predicted that the battle between Zhao Feng and the three-eyed saint would be unavoidable. As long as he defeated the three-eyed saint, Zhao Feng would be able to obtain the title of the strongest eye bloodline on the continent. This tea party wasn't just a stage for the true dragon geniuses, it was also a battle for the strongest eye bloodline. Jinyang Xingtian. Zhao Feng didn't enter the stage. Instead, he looked toward the host of the tea party, the three-eyed saint. A wisp of battle intent shot toward the three-eyed saint. At this moment in time, the spectators and true dragon geniuses were full of expectation. Many of them held their breaths as excitement flashed through their eyes. Zhao Feng challenged the three-eyed saint. Can the three-eyed saint keep his title as the strongest eye bloodline on the continent? Taba Feng, the ghost-eyed man, and company couldn't help but take a deep breath. Facing Zhao Feng's challenge, the three-eyed saint revealed a faint smile as he slowly stood up with confidence. The third eye on his forehead slowly opened, and it flashed with a golden light, making it seem like a sun that looked down on the earth. A supreme eye bloodline power covered the entire area. In that instant, the hearts of the true dragon geniuses shook and they couldn't breathe. Even the other prodigies couldn't look directly at the three-eyed saint's sacred eye bloodline. They felt like they were being burned by the sun, and their mouths were dry. A mere gaze was enough to make ordinary peerless geniuses feel like they could not resist it. Just as the three-eyed saint stood up, the two strongest eye bloodline geniuses on the continent were about to engage in an unparalleled battle. Wait! Goddess Bing Wei's cold voice suddenly came between the two. Shua! A field of crystal-like icy blue frost chi, shining brightly, swept over, emitting a terrifying cold energy that could freeze blood. Zhao Feng's body froze. The aura from Goddess Bing Wei's body had reached the level of being able to freeze normal early-stage True Lord ranks. Goddess Bing Wei, what's the meaning of this? Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed and he was displeased. This was the third time he had tried to challenge the three-eyed saint, and Goddess Bing Wei had interfered. The first time was when he met the three-eyed saint and Goddess Bing Wei stopped him. The second time was when Zhao Feng killed more than a dozen true dragon geniuses and was about to challenge the three-eyed saint when Goddess Bing Wei stopped him. And now. This was the third time. Sister Bing. What are you? It wasn't hard for the three-eyed saint to guess Zhao Feng's intentions. Goddess Bing Wei's heart was slightly uneasy. No one has been able to find out Zhao Feng's true strength from the tea party until now. All of Zhao Feng's opponents had been instantly killed. As for the other two overwhelming prodigies, they hadn't challenged Zhao Feng due to various reasons. Shi Qingtian had lost to Zhao Feng back then, and he had a good relationship with Zhao Feng. Sang Yuyue, the new overwhelming prodigy. Her sword Dao attacks became stronger the stronger she was. Goddess Bing Wei originally thought that Sang Yuyue would challenge Zhao Feng. However, what disappointed her was that although Sang Yuyue wanted to battle Zhao Feng, she didn't challenge him. Goddess Bing Wei obviously didn't know that Sang Yuyue had already lost to Zhao Feng back in the cloud area. The two weren't even on the same level. Even though Sang Yuyue's comprehension of the Tao of the sword had increased, she didn't have any confidence in beating Zhao Feng. In other words, the three overwhelming prodigies present had all lost to Zhao Feng. I'll attack whoever tries to stop me. The chi of wind lightning true spirit within Zhao Feng's body started to circulate at a high speed and an azure ripple of wind lightning swept across dozens of yards. Shua! The ice from Goddess Bing Wei's body was instantly destroyed, leaving behind a patch of black smoke. Goddess Bing Wei harumphed as her jade-like body went numb. An invisible pressure made it hard for her to breathe. At this moment, the power of wind lightning from Zhao Feng had reached a terrifying level that normal True Lord ranks couldn't compare to. Zhao Feng. Our battle in the sacred True Dragon Gathering a year ago hasn't ended. Goddess Bing Wei's chi of true spirit almost started to burn as a layer of ice appeared on her skin. In an instant, her aura skyrocketed and reached the peak True Lord rank in just a few breaths. What secret technique is this? Her entire body has turned into ice. The true dragon geniuses felt as if their bodies had been frozen and they started to tremble. The entire area was frozen by the cold air. Some of the weaker spectators had their teeth chattering, and they couldn't even move their bodies. Mystic Crystal Battle Body. Goddess Bing Wei's skin turned into ice. She was like an ice goddess in a world of ice and snow. Her every move resonated with the coldness of nature. With this secret art, her defense would surpass Shi Qingtian's. Even Sang Yuyue probably couldn't break through her defense head-on, at least not in the physical level. Under the Mystic Crystal Battle Body, my every move has the ability to freeze normal True Lord ranks. Zhao Feng, I don't believe you can hold back and not use your eye bloodline technique. Goddess Bing Wei's face was cold and her killing intent seemed to materialize. She waved her hand, and an icy blue cold flame appeared in her hand. It danced like an ice phoenix, and the surrounding cold air formed a powerful icy tornado that engulfed everything within a radius of half a mile. Goddess Bing Wei's current state caused the expressions of the other overwhelming prodigies to change dramatically. Even the three-eyed saint was surprised. Goddess Bing Wei's current battle power was unparalleled under the peak True Lord rank. Normal True Lord ranks wouldn't even be able to break through the mystic crystal battle body's defense, they might even be frozen if they got close. The ripples of wind and lightning around Xiao Feng were slowly eroded by the ice. Xiao Feng's body was almost covered in a layer of frost from the icy tornado created by the ice blue cold flames. Goddess Bing Wei, you're willing to pay the price to use a secret technique that harms your foundation. You just want to test my True Lord rank strength? A cold smile appeared on Xiao Feng's face. Ice-water transformation. Xiao Feng's entire body was covered in a layer of rippling water. The blue water suddenly surged, extending for several dozen zhang, as deep as the ocean. All the attacks that got close to Xiao Feng were like stones sinking into the ocean. If Goddess Bing Wei was an ice mountain, then Xiao Feng was an ocean. Shua. Water rippled around Xiao Feng's body and he used a weird method to get close to Goddess Bing Wei. Break. Xiao Feng's fist was surrounded by a layer of water and like hot water melting into ice, it directly entered Goddess Bing Wei's mystic crystal battle body. No. Goddess Bing Wei's expression changed dramatically as she watched Xiao Feng's fist land on her chest. Crack. Peng. Xiao Feng's fist landed on Goddess Bing Wei's mystic crystal battle body and exploded on her chest. Wah! Goddess Bing Wei spat out a mouthful of blood as her body flew out. Her clothes were in tatters, revealing her snow-white skin and a pair of pure white peaks. Sister Wei. The three-eyed saint let out a roar and immediately tried to save him. He defeated Goddess Bing Wei in one move. The crowd was dead silent. Many people took in cold breaths. That's terrifying. Goddess Bing Wei was an overwhelming prodigy in that state, but she couldn't even take one move from Xiao Feng. Shi Qingtian, Sang Yue, Tan Tan Lan Yue and the other overwhelming prodigies were speechless. They felt lucky that they didn't challenge Xiao Feng before or else they would only embarrass themselves. Defeating an overwhelming prodigy in one move. The eyes of the spectators almost popped out before they came back to their senses. Xiao Feng's expression was calm in front of everyone's fearful gazes and he murmured, I've finally gotten rid of the obstacle. On a faraway mountain. The head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat elders' expressions were solemn. This Xiao Feng's strength has completely exceeded our expectations. He came to the Golden Sun family with ill intentions. The Grass Hat elder murmured to himself. Looks like it won't be easy for Sheng to defeat him. However, no one can take away the title of the strongest eye bloodline in the continent. The head of the Golden Sun family's eyes twinkled. Right at this moment, the battle between Xiao Feng and the three-eyed saint was about to start. Xiao Feng. You actually injured Wei, His voice, which was filled with rage, was filled with frightening killing intent. The hearts of the true dragon geniuses went cold, as if they had fallen into a bottomless abyss. The golden-haired male's figure was as handsome as a blade, and the third eye, on his forehead had completely opened. It was like a dazzling golden sun that released a blinding light, and a surge of golden eye bloodline aura swept toward Xiao Feng. Peng Peng. Peng Peng. Taba Feng, the ghost-eyed man, and the other owners of eye bloodlines felt suffocated. Their eye bloodlines were being suppressed. Xiao Feng felt his left eye twitch as if it was under some kind of pressure. Three-eyed light. A beam of light as dazzling as the sun, carrying with it a flame energy that could incinerate all things, pierced through the air like a meteor and engulfed Xiao Feng with a boom. Chapter 5:15. In that instant, within a radius of several hundred miles, one could see that dazzling streak of blazing rainbow light. The three-eyed saint's third eye was like the eye of heaven, and it looked down on the ground. Boom! Zhao Feng, who was 100 yards away, was engulfed by the blazing light that seemed capable of incinerating everything in its path. What a dominating eye bloodline technique! The three-eyed divine light that's said to be able to break through all techniques. The power of this eye bloodline covered everything within 1 mile. The eyes of some of the eye bloodline geniuses, such as Tuoba Chi and the ghost-eyed man, trembled, and they felt like they couldn't breathe. Bam! Tang! Tang! Zhao Feng seemed to be hit by a powerful force, and his body was almost sent flying as he was forced to retreat. The instant he was hit by the three-eyed divine light, both Zhao Feng's soul and body felt heavy, as if they were being crushed by an ancient elephant. When ripples of water surrounded Zhao Feng's body, and it started to dim at a visible rate. This three-eyed divine light is a special attack that can destroy both the physical and mental energy. Zhao Feng's heart shook as he retreated. Wherever he went, he left behind a bottomless trench that emitted green smoke. The impact of the three eyes light was truly domineering. The blazing rainbow light could burn and annihilate all things. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's body was engulfed by the flames of the divine light and continued to burn. Zhao Feng's soul wasn't able to escape the flames of the three-eyed divine light either. This lasted for 2 or 3 breaths before Zhao Feng retreated half a mile. Only then did the three-eyed divine light's attack disappear. At this moment the ripples of water around Zhao Feng's body had dimmed by half. A large trench was formed between the three-eyed saint and Zhao Feng. The shocking scene gave the spectators a great visual impact, causing them to be unable to calm their astonishment. No wonder it's worthy of being the strongest eye bloodline in the continent. It's strong enough. Zhao Feng's hair and clothes were disheveled, and he could feel a faint pain coming from his bones. It felt like he was being crushed by a huge force. Just now, it wasn't that Zhao Feng didn't want to dodge the attack, but that he didn't have the strength to do so. In fact, the three-eyed saint's attacks weren't as fast as the heavenly piercing eye. However, once the three-eyed saint's sacred eye bloodline locked onto him, the space where his mind and body were would be permeated by the divine light. In that state, his body and mind seemed to have sunk into a swamp. As a result, even though Zhao Feng could see the three-eyed saint's attack trajectory clearly, he could barely dodge it. At the same time, on the other side of the trench, he's actually not injured. No one under the half-step primal core realm can escape unscathed from my three-eyes light. The three-eyed saint's pupils constricted with shock. At least, on the surface, Zhao Feng's clothes and hair were messy, and there were no signs of injury. You should know. The three eyes divine light could destroy the body and mind at the same time, and it was said to be able to destroy everything. Those with a strong soul couldn't block it, and those with a strong body couldn't block it. However, the youth in front of him had easily done it. After the evolution of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline, his water bloodline had been growing, and it specialized in defense and healing. The three-eyed saint's three eyes divine light was a part of the fire of the sun, and it was slightly suppressed by Zhao Feng's water bloodline. As for mental energy attacks, Zhao Feng had always been able to ignore them. Furthermore, his soul wasn't much weaker than an origin core realm sovereign's. It's my turn. Zhao Feng's left eye suddenly turned azure, and a wisp of faint purple flashed within it. What? Switching between eye bloodlines. The three-eyed saint and the heirs of the other 2 eye bloodline families shook in disbelief. Normally, the element of an eye bloodline was already decided from birth. This kind of switching was only limited to some legendary eye bloodlines. In the blink of an eye, whoosh! A translucent dragon-shaped ball of wind lightning shot toward the three-eyed saint as if it came from another dimension. Wind lightning eye flame. This was Zhao Feng's most explosive eye bloodline technique. It contained the elements of wind, lightning, and fire, as well as the aura of destruction. The instant the wind lightning eye flame hit him, the three-eyed saint felt as if he was in hell and was being burned by lightning. In terms of endurance, the wind lightning eye flame wasn't as strong as the three-eyed divine light, but it was more explosive. In this sense of danger, the three-eyed saint's third eye twitched. Divine light of destruction. A twisting beam of sunlight had a crystal-clear feeling. When it passed through the void, it gave the illusion of sunlight passing through glass. Whoosh! The divine light of destruction seemed to be both invisible and physical as it clashed with the wind lightning eye flame. A weird scene appeared. The rampaging wind lightning eye flame was about to explode, but it was split apart, analyzed, and dispersed by the powerful blazing sun divine light. Its might was reduced by more than half. Boom! The three-eyed saint's figure shook as he was forced back several steps. His body and soul were being corroded by the wind lightning eye flame. However, after being disintegrated by the divine light of destruction, the wind lightning eye flame's threat to him was minimal. The three-eyed saint let out a breath as a faint smile appeared on his face. Zhao Feng's wind lightning eye flame was too strong. It could almost instantly kill a late-stage true lord rank. On the other side of the ditch. This is the three-eyed divine light of destruction. It can even split and analyze my strongest wind lightning eye flame. Zhao Feng's expression became solemn. The three-eyed saint's three-eyed divine light had two main types. The first was offensive and could disintegrate mental and physical energy. The second was defensive and could disintegrate all kinds of attacks, including eye bloodlines. Whether it was offense or defense, it could kill both the physical and mental energy world. This was also the reason why the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline had reached the peak of perfection. On the other hand, most eye bloodlines had different attributes and attack types. For example, Zhao Feng's was more oriented towards the soul. For example, Qi Gui from the Black Cliff Palace was more oriented towards the Tao of Ghosts, and Tuoba Qi's heavenly piercing eye was more oriented towards the physical. However, the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline had reached a high level of fusion between physical and mental energy. Zhao Feng, I didn't expect you to have the legendary ability to switch between eye bloodlines. However, no matter what you do, it's useless against the sacred eye bloodline of the Golden Sun family. The three-eyed saint's third eye shone brightly, and it looked like a burning golden crow as he circulated his eye bloodline power. Eye of illusion. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye clashed with the three-eyed saint's third eye. In an instant, Zhao Feng's left eye turned into a bottomless abyss that radiated a fatal attraction. The three-eyed saint's heart shook. He was unable to resist the attraction. The Eye of Illusion represented Zhao Feng's mastery of mental energy. With the support of his soul and source of mental energy, even someone as strong as the three-eyed saint wasn't able to resist it. Shua! The three-eyed saint's consciousness blurred, and he entered a unique dimension filled with wind, lightning, and coldness. His body was bound by chains of lightning, and he couldn't move. Zhao Feng, your mental energy eye bloodline technique is indeed strong. A faint smile appeared on the three-eyed saint's face even though he was trapped in the illusion dimension. Divine light of destruction. The three-eyed saint's third eye once again shot out a ray of light. Boom! The illusion dimension created by Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye instantly crumbled. The divine light of destruction could not only disintegrate attacks, but it could also disintegrate mental energy. The three-eyed divine light destroyed everything. In the real dimension, Shua. Zhao Feng and the three-eyed saint were still standing at the two ends of the ditch as if nothing had happened. The spectators all held their breaths. Only Tuoba Qi, the ghost-eyed man, and a few others could understand the battle between the two eye bloodline geniuses. This Zhao Feng's mental energy is too strong. Luckily, I listened to Sister Wei's suggestion and brought 3 or 4 pieces of Soul Dao defensive equipment. This is already the limit of the Golden Sun family. Cold sweat appeared on the three-eyed saint's forehead. It was because of this preparation that the three-eyed saint was able to easily break through the illusion dimension even though his mental energy wasn't as strong as Zhao Feng's. As I thought. Zhao Feng stood still as his blue hair blew in the wind. The Eye of Illusion's failure wasn't out of his expectations. The three-eyed saint had prepared 3 or 4 pieces of Soul Dao defensive equipment, but that was out of Zhao Feng's expectations. Zhao Feng, your biggest reliance is your eye bloodline. Your fate is sealed. The three-eyed saint stood proudly. At this moment, the other 2 eye bloodline inheritors, Tuoba Chi and the ghost-eyed man, also sighed. The three-eyed saint's sacred eye bloodline countered most of the other eye bloodlines in the world. Otherwise, the Golden Sun family wouldn't have been able to obtain the title of being the strongest eye bloodline in the continent. Three-eyed divine light, Golden Crow World Incineration. The three-eyed saint's third eye released a 3-legged flaming bird that was shaped like a golden crow. It let out a faint cry and released a forbidden fiery aura that pierced through the air. This time, the power of the three-eyed light mystic technique had risen to a higher level. Before the attack even reached him, Zhao Feng felt as if the air around him had been pierced by some sort of power and burned. In theory, it would be very difficult for Zhao Feng to dodge this attack. This was because the three-eyed divine light had locked onto him. However, Zhao Feng didn't even think about dodging. Eye of Ice Soul shooting line. Zhao Feng's left eye once again shot out a half-transparent beam of light. Whoosh! The beam of light shot through the air and clashed with the three-eyed divine light. The instant they clashed, the Ice Soul shooting line was at a disadvantage. After all, the three-eyed divine light had the power of destruction and analysis. However, a bone-chilling coldness shot out from Zhao Feng's left eye, as if it was a limitless abyss. Within the dimension of his left eye, the lake of eye bloodline power gave Zhao Feng limitless support. Wu, that translucent dark blue cold rainbow released a layer of cold and beautiful crystal light. It actually stabilized in the air and continued to extend. Eye of Ice Soul freeze. Zhao Feng had already comprehended some of the essence of the ball of Ice Soul. Like invisible tentacles, the Ice Soul ray froze the oncoming three-eyed flame bird to a certain extent, causing its momentum to plummet. Chapter 5:16. In the air. A half-transparent ray of light intertwined with the golden crow's blazing divine light. In the first half-breath, the three-eyed saint's blazing divine light had the absolute advantage. Zhao Feng's Ice Soul shooting line was about to dissipate. However, at the critical moment, a surge of cold energy entered and caused the Eye of Ice Soul to change. The deep blue cold rainbow was crystal bright and beautiful. The Ice Soul cold energy was restrained and condensed, becoming even more stable. The three-eyed saint's blazing divine light seemed to freeze, and its momentum decreased. The Ice Soul shooting line is focused on offense, but it's not very stable. On the other hand, the Ice Soul solidification doesn't focus on offense, it focuses on freezing. In Zhao Feng's mind, the intent from the ball of Ice Soul turned into countless particles that collided with each other. The ball of Ice Soul contained many intents related to ice. In the past, Zhao Feng hadn't put much emphasis on solidification. However, facing the three-eyed saint's three-eyed divine light this time, the ability to disintegrate and freeze came in handy. Just like that. The two completely opposite eye bloodline techniques clashed in the air. They extended and contracted, and it was hard to tell which was stronger for the time being. One was splitting and analyzing, while the other was freezing. This was only the specialty of eye bloodline techniques. Apart from that, the three-eyed divine light was more of the blazing sun element, while the Eye of Ice Soul was more of the ice element. The two were completely opposite in terms of attributes, and they resisted each other. The three-eyed saint's three-eyed divine light has been blocked. But that Zhao Feng doesn't have the advantage either. The spectators held their breaths as their faces were filled with excitement. This battle was definitely a battle between the strongest eye bloodlines on the continent. The three-eyed divine light has been blocked by that brat. How can a measly azure flower continent have such a monstrous eye bloodline? The three-eyed saint's expression twisted as anger and unwillingness appeared on his face. Although Zhao Feng's ice soul solidification wasn't as profound and complete as his three-eyed divine light, it was still a bit inferior. After all, the inheritance of the Golden Sun family's eye bloodline techniques had a long history, while Zhao Feng's eye bloodline techniques had been discovered and replicated by himself. There was a slight difference in their foundation. However, in terms of quality and quantity, Zhao Feng's eye intent was stronger than his. It was because of this. Zhao Feng's Eye of Ice Soul was able to rival the profound, three-eyed light that he had inherited. On a distant mountain peak. What shocking eye power! Even Sheng pales in comparison to the quantity of his eye bloodline. Jinyang Xingtian's face was filled with shock as a trace of greed flashed across his eyes. This Zhao Feng's eye bloodline is indeed blessed by the heavens. Its source of eye bloodline power is immeasurable, and it can be switched. The straw hat old man sighed. As time passed, their expressions gradually turned solemn. In the air, the three-eyed saint's scorching sun divine light took up 2/3 of the distance, giving him a huge advantage. But in the next few breaths, the length of the blazing sun divine light gradually decreased. Think of the corresponding. The ice soul beam from Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye was slowly increasing until it was half its length. When the two beams each took up half of the distance, the three-eyed saint didn't have any advantage anymore. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng's source of eye bloodline power was still increasing and pressing down on Jinyang Xingtian. This is impossible. The three-eyed saint gritted his teeth and circulated the power of his third eye. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't regain his advantage. Zhao Feng took up at least half of the distance and continued to press down on Jinyang Xingtian. 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. Seeing that Zhao Feng's advantage was becoming bigger and bigger. This Zhao Feng is a monster. His eye bloodline power is able to suppress the three-eyed saint. Tuoba Chi and the ghost-eyed man looked at each other in shock. At this moment, although the victor hadn't been decided yet, Zhao Feng's advantage was increasing. The scales of victory were slowly tilting towards Zhao Feng. When the ice soul beam took up 3/4 of the distance, the three-eyed saint started to feel tired. The three-eyed divine light was undeniably domineering. However, such a powerful eye bloodline technique also exhausted a lot of eye bloodline power. How is this possible? How is his expression still the same? The three-eyed saint couldn't believe it. On the other side of the ditch, Zhao Feng was still calm and collected. One had to know that. The strength of Zhao Feng's soul was comparable to that of an origin core realm. How could the three-eyed saint compare? If the battle dragged on, the three-eyed saint would definitely lose. Three-eyed saint, is the result of our battle already decided? Zhao Feng mocked as he continued to pressure the three-eyed saint. Hearing this, the three-eyed saint's face paled and became extremely ugly. His face was filled with rage. Indeed. Before and during the battle, the three-eyed saint was extremely confident. Zhao Feng specialized in his eye bloodline and was destined to be countered by him to death. On the contrary, Zhao Feng had an overwhelming advantage in eye bloodline power, so he didn't underestimate him. Jinyang Xingtian, no matter who wins or loses, I'm here to humbly challenge the Jinyang family, the #1 eye bloodline on the continent. Zhao Feng shook his head and said. Humbly. Learn? The expressions of the spectators became weird. Although Zhao Feng's performance at the tea party couldn't be considered arrogant, it wasn't the same as learning from others. Humbly learning? Could it be? On the other hand, the ghost-eyed man seemed to think of something and his heart shook. On a faraway mountain. What game is this Zhao Feng playing? The eyebrows of the head of the Jinyang family furrowed. It doesn't matter what he's playing. If this continues, Sheng will lose. The grass hat elder rolled his eyes. With me behind the scenes, how can Sheng lose? The head of the Golden Sun family snickered coldly. Schwa. He sat cross-legged in a corner of the mountain peak, and the third eye on his forehead suddenly opened. Being the three-eyed saint's father, the head of the Golden Sun family's eye bloodline was similar to the three-eyed saint's. However, in terms of eye bloodline power, the head of the Golden Sun family far surpassed the three-eyed saint. When the head of the Golden Sun family placed his hands on his forehead, and a sliver of blood leaked out of his sacred eye. Wisps of fiery golden eye bloodline aura turned into threads that entered the air. That's right. You and your father are connected by bloodline, so you can use a secret technique of the Golden Sun family to transfer eye bloodline power over a certain distance. The grass hat elder nodded his head faintly. He wasn't surprised. In the next instant, the three-eyed saint's third eye released a golden light as a surge of eye bloodline power surged out. What's going on? What secret technique did the three-eyed saint use to release such a powerful eye bloodline power? The hearts of Tuoba Chi, the ghost-eyed man, and company jumped as they exclaimed. In just a short breath, the three-eyed saint's eye bloodline power had almost doubled. Wang Xiaofeng's ice soul beam was about to reach the three-eyed saint, but it was pushed back by the blazing light. Zhao Feng was shocked. Schwa. Schwa. As the blazing light was about to hit him, a gust of wind and lightning was left behind. Wings of wind and lightning. A pair of wings of wind and lightning extended from Zhao Feng's back, and the power of wind and lightning in the heaven and earth became active and created a barrage of lightning. At this moment, Zhao Feng felt like his body was as light as a feather, and the wings of wind and lightning resonated with the power of heaven and earth. He even felt like he was standing at the center of the wind and lightning world. So, over the past half a year, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the wings of wind and lightning had increased, especially after comprehending the intent of a sovereign. Zhao Feng. No matter how fast you are, you won't be able to escape my light. The three-eyed saint roared as the gloominess on his face disappeared. It was replaced with joy and excitement. At the critical moment, he received the help of his father's eye bloodline, and it was as if there was a river of eye bloodline power behind him. Three-eyed light. With the help of his father's eye bloodline power, the three-eyed saint once again circulated his sacred eye, and its power was almost double that of before. Zhao Feng suddenly felt an invisible eye bloodline power that could pierce through both the physical and mental energies, and he felt a burning sensation. Once he was locked onto, he wouldn't be able to dodge. However, at this moment, Zhao Feng laughed faintly and flapped his wings of wind and lightning. Countless small arcs of lightning flashed through the air and pushed the heaven-earth Yuan Qi away. Bam! The wings of wind and lightning flapped, and Zhao Feng's figure flashed as he broke through the invisible eye bloodline power and disappeared. Boom! The three-eyed saint's scorching divine light missed. How did he do that? The three-eyed saint's expression froze in disbelief. Ever since he was born, this was the first time he had met a genius of the same level who could dodge his three divine eyes' light so easily. On a faraway mountain, what kind of secret technique is that? It seems to contain a sliver of the laws of space and allowed him to escape from the bloodline feast. The head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder were both surprised. Schwa. With the help of the wings of wind and lightning, Zhao Feng's speed and agility increased dramatically, and he soon disappeared from the three-eyed saint's sight. Suddenly, the three-eyed saint felt a chill on his back. It was as if an invisible blade had sliced through his body. Azure eye piercing slash. Zhao Feng's left eye turned azure once again, and the wings of wind and lightning flapped. He was like an ancient demonic wind god of war. Whoosh! A half-transparent blade of wind slashed toward the three-eyed saint. Some of the geniuses present felt a sense of familiarity. The signs of the invisible sharp slash were extremely similar to the heavenly piercing eye. What's going on? This is the Tuoba family's heavenly piercing eye secret technique. Tuoba Chi rose to his feet with a shocked expression. However, by the time everyone realized it, Zhao Feng's azure eye-piercing slash had already been completed. Because he had merged the Wind Lightning Emperor's laws of speed into it, the blade of wind was even faster than the heavenly piercing eye. Whoosh! The three-eyed saint couldn't help but groan as a bloody gash half an inch deep appeared on his back. Even though he had already used a golden barrier to protect himself, it was too late. Although the three-eyed saint could disperse this attack, Zhao Feng's azure eye-piercing slash was faster and more powerful than Tuoba Chi's. Furthermore, the timing was perfect, and it struck the three-eyed saint's weak spot from behind. Chapter 5:17. Shu. The three-eyed saint's back was sliced open by the blade of wind and blood splattered. Its sharpness and speed had surpassed the dodging limit of a true lord rank. Why does this move look like the heavenly piercing eye? The true dragon geniuses present felt a sense of déjà vu. Even Tuoba Chi sprang to his feet in shock and confusion. At this moment in time, Tuoba Chi's heavenly piercing eye had been successfully copied by Zhao Feng, and its power and speed far surpassed the original heavenly piercing eye. That's right. It's this copied ability. The ghost-eyed man's heart shook. Back at the sacred True Dragon gathering, Zhao Feng had copied the theory of his ghost eye flame and created the lightning fire god's eye, which turned into the wind lightning eye flame. And now, this copying ability had appeared once again on Zhao Feng. The ghost-eyed man didn't believe that the azure eye-piercing slash that Zhao Feng cultivated was so similar to the heavenly piercing eye. The only difference between the azure eye-piercing slash and the heavenly piercing eye was the element of the eye. The former was of the wind element, while the latter was of the metal element. The similarity was the sharpness and the sharpness. When did he learn my heavenly piercing eye? Tuoba Chi was shocked and bewildered. However, now wasn't the time for him to ask questions. Zhao Feng and the three-eyed saint had already gained the upper hand. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's advantage was his heavenly piercing eye. Tuoba Chi felt bitter in his heart. He had lost to Zhao Feng in the first place, and the heavenly piercing eye was even more powerful in Zhao Feng's hands. Heavenly piercing eye. He's even learned the Tuoba family's eye bloodline technique. The three-eyed saint suppressed the pain in his back. In the past, of the three great eye bloodline clans, the only one he was wary of was the heavenly piercing eye. This was because the heavenly piercing eye was too fast. At this moment in time, in his heart, Zhao Feng wasn't just a normal enemy, but a nightmare. In reality, the three-eyed saint could be considered to have lost. If it wasn't for his father's help, the three-eyed saint wouldn't have been able to last until now. On a distant mountain peak. This kid has the specialty of the Wu's and Tuoba's bloodline pupil techniques, as well as his own phantom pupil technique and ice pupil technique. The head of the Golden Sun family took a deep breath. In terms of the diversity of his eye bloodline, Zhao Feng was able to use it flexibly in different situations. Adding on the fact that his eye bloodline power was extremely strong, he was able to utilize this advantage even more. Under such circumstances, the only thing the head of the Golden Sun family could do was try his best to support his son. Unfortunately, the transfer of eye bloodline power will be slightly weakened due to the distance. The old man in the straw hat sighed. The three-eyed saint could only absorb 60% of the head of the Golden Sun family's power. Even so, the three-eyed saint's eye bloodline power had almost doubled. However, the outcome of the battle was no longer a contest of eye bloodline power. Three-eyed divine light. A blinding light shot through the air and locked onto Zhao Feng once more. Bam! Shua! The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back flapped as he dodged the three-eyed saint's attack once more. Azure eye-piercing slash. Wind lightning eye flame. Zhao Feng's lightning-fast attacks made the three-eyed saint fluster. The three-eyed saint barely managed to block the azure eye-piercing slash, but he didn't have enough time to break through the wind lightning eye flame. His clothes and hair were in a mess as he gritted his teeth and counterattacked. Three-eyed divine light, bright sun heavenly star. The third eye, that glowed with a golden light, was like a blazing sun crow, and the blazing flames of the sun raged violently like a volcano erupting. It shot out a myriad of golden rays of the sun, and it carried an aura of obliteration. Boom! The ground within a mile started to shake and dust rose. Tens of thousands of blazing golden sun spots whistled through the starry sky and landed on the ground. Every time one of them hit the ground, it would leave a hole as big as a house. Millions of rays of golden light gathered together and seemed to be able to destroy the stars in the sky. It was a disaster. Furthermore, such a powerful attack was aimed at one person. Even a half-step primal core realm cultivator would retreat when facing such an attack, not wanting to take it head-on. Bright sun heavenly star. It's this move. Sheng, are you crazy? If you're not at the half-step origin core realm, using this move will harm your sacred eye bloodline. The expression of the head of the Golden Sun family changed dramatically as he sighed. The stronger the eye bloodline, the more burden it would place on the eye bloodline. For example, Zhao Feng's wind lightning eye flame couldn't be used more than 3 times in a row, and that was only because his eye bloodline was strong. The three-eyed saint's celestial sacred sun was a forbidden technique that he could barely use with the help of his father's eye power. It was enough to instantly destroy a force like the Broken Moon clan. Boom! The True Dragon Tea Party's area shook as if mountains were collapsing. The spectators turned pale with fright. Under the horrifying golden sun rain, they felt as if they were ants trying to survive. Luckily, the range of that attack was only half a mile around Xiaofeng. Otherwise, more than half of the spectators nearby would be injured or killed. What a powerful attack! The wings of wind and lightning on Xiaofeng's back fluttered as he tried to escape. Bo Xiaofeng's body was surrounded by a layer of blue water, and the occasional scorching golden spot that brushed past him was absorbed as much as possible. Shwa! A faint purple aura suddenly surrounded the wings of wind and lightning, and Xiaofeng's speed reached a whole new level. This faint purple aura was the purple wind lightning from the Wind Lightning Stone Tablet. Even just a wisp of it could increase one's speed. Whoosh! In just 1 or 2 blinks of an eye, Xiaofeng arrived near the clouds. The sun heavenly stars didn't pose much of a threat to Xiaofeng. On the other hand, the spectators on the ground were caught up in the shockwaves of the eye technique. Cries of alarm rang out, and dust billowed. Speed, looks like it'll be very difficult for Sheng, to win this battle. The Grass Hat Elder sighed. If it was a normal 3-eyed divine light, Xiaofeng might be able to dodge it. However, Xiaofeng's bright sun heavenly star flashed past it in an instant. There was nothing he could do about it. Of course, the Grass Hat Elder could tell that Xiaofeng was able to dodge this attack not only because of his speed, but also because of his keen senses and judgment. Xiaofeng had already sensed the three-eyed saint's attack and was prepared for it. Facing such a terrifying opponent, the three-eyed saint had unparalleled insight, judgment, speed, and eye bloodline techniques. The three-eyed saint's chances of winning were minuscule. Even if he can't win, Sheng, just needs to defend with the divine light of destruction and my eye bloodline power. The Golden Sun Sacred Lord gritted his teeth and said unwillingly. He immediately told the three-eyed saint his plan through their eye bloodline. This is the only way. I have to keep the title of the strongest eye bloodline on the continent. The three-eyed saint's heart dropped. His personal victory wasn't important, but he represented the Golden Sun family's most talented genius in the past 1,000 years and had a sacred eye bloodline that was only weaker than the three-eyed heavenly emperor. If he lost, the title of the strongest eye bloodline on the continent would probably change hands. Unknowingly, the Golden Sun Sacred Lord and the three-eyed saint's demands kept on dropping. At the beginning, they wanted to defeat Xiaofeng no matter what. Up until now, being able to guarantee that he wouldn't lose was already his greatest hope. Xiaofeng. The battle of eye bloodline techniques between us is of great significance. Even if you win, what's the point of dodging like this? The three-eyed saint took a deep breath as he looked at the blue-haired youth. Xiaofeng was still unharmed. Even when he broke through to the Sun Heavenly Star, his speed and defense had reached the limits of the true Lord rank. In terms of speed and defense, he had reached the limit of the true Lord rank and had even broken through. Good. Good. Zhao Feng faintly smiled and said 2 good words. Schwa. His figure quickly descended, and his left eye switched to the azure pupil state. When layers of azure light surrounded Zhao Feng's left eye, and it became bright like an azure moon. That's... Tuoba Chi and the ghost-eyed man's hearts shook as they looked at Zhao Feng's left eye. The moon form of Zhao Feng's left eye matched the three-eyed saint's sun form better. At this moment, the eye bloodline power condensed in Zhao Feng's left eye was stronger than ever. Although it couldn't surpass the three-eyed saint's, it was extremely condensed and he had complete control over it. The inheritors of the eye bloodlines could see that the azure moon in Zhao Feng's left eye was formed from countless particles of azure light. What move is this Zhao Feng trying to use? The spectators held their breaths. Such powerful eye bloodline power, is this Zhao Feng's true strength? The three-eyed saint and the head of the Golden Sun family were stunned. If Zhao Feng had used such powerful eye bloodline power earlier, the three-eyed saint wouldn't have been able to last until now. However, Zhao Feng hadn't done so. What was his goal? I've already said that I'm here to learn from you and challenge the continent's #1 eye bloodline family. A light and calm voice swept across the void. As soon as he finished speaking, a bright azure light shot out from Zhao Feng's left eye, and it glittered with countless particles of sharpness. Divine light of destruction. The cyan light pierced through the clouds. The dust in the air was cut and split again and again. Everything in the world was minced and annihilated into dust particles. Before the sharp green light even got close, everyone felt a chill that pierced straight into their bodies and souls. The instant their gazes met Zhao Feng's left eye, they felt as if their eyes were being sliced into countless pieces. How is this possible? The divine light of destruction is a unique eye bloodline technique of the Golden Sun family. How did that brat? The head of the Golden Sun family, who was standing on a mountain far away, was dumbfounded. How does he know my divine light of destruction? The three-eyed saint exclaimed. At this moment of danger, he circulated his three-eyed divine light of destruction. Whoosh! In the horizon, a ray of light from the scorching sun collided with another ray of azure light from the cold moon, and it caused starlight that seemed like illusory bubbles to splash out. Chapter 5:18. Boom! The two similar rays of divine light of destruction clashed in the sky. Zhao Feng's divine light of destruction descended from the sky. It was a cold beam of light surrounded by countless tiny particles that could slice apart anything in its path. The three-eyed saint's divine light of destruction met the attack from below. It was a beam of light that could split apart everything, including the soul. The instant the two collided, the collision produced a 5-colored starfire, and countless particles were annihilated within it. However, what was weird was that, the two rays of divine light of destruction didn't completely devour each other. Instead, they passed through each other. This scene was out of everyone's expectations. Even the three-eyed saint was surprised. Whoosh! Whoosh! The two rays of divine light of destruction used up a portion of their physical power before passing through each other. The difference was Zhao Feng's divine light of destruction was a physical attack, while the three-eyed saint's divine light of destruction could destroy both the physical and mental energies. At the peak of the mountain, wait. His divine light of destruction isn't complete. It only has the ability to split the physical world. The head of the Golden Sun family exclaimed. The complete divine light of destruction should be able to split the physical and mental energies at the same time. Zhao Feng, on the other hand, had probably copied this eye bloodline technique in a short amount of time and hadn't completely learned it. He only had the ability to split and analyze matter. This meant that, Zhao Feng's divine light of destruction could only neutralize the three-eyed saint's physical power. It couldn't block the mental power at all. But at the same time, Zhao Feng focused all of his eye bloodline power on the physical dimension, giving him an overwhelming advantage in this aspect. As a result, such a scene appeared. The two rays of divine light of destruction only managed to cancel out a portion of it before passing through each other. Ha ha ha. Zhao Feng. You stole my divine light of annihilation, but you only learned half of it. The three-eyed saint couldn't help but laugh. It was obvious that Zhao Feng had only learned half of the divine light of destruction's profundities. The reason why the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline could counter most eye bloodline techniques was because of its ability to kill both the physical and mental energies. The divine light of destruction built on this foundation could basically break through all kinds of secret eye techniques. Half of the divine light of destruction is more than enough to deal with you. Zhao Feng said calmly. As soon as he finished speaking, the two beams of destruction divine light crossed each other. After a slight pause, they struck their targets. Not good. Isn't this a lose-lose situation? Some of the spectators turned pale. The head of the Golden Sun family and the old man wearing the straw hat, who were far away on the top of the mountain, became serious. A draw is also a good result. The old man in the straw hat stroked his beard. Everyone watched as the beam of light dimmed by half and landed on the three-eyed saint. The three-eyed saint gritted his teeth and circulated his chi of true spirit. A layer of golden runes appeared on his body to block the powerful slicing power of the azure ray. On the other side, Zhao Feng calmly stood where he was. He didn't make any defensive movements, allowing the scorching sunlight, which was only a mental attack, to penetrate his body. Within the dimension of his left eye, waves appeared on the lake, and a mysterious whirlpool spun at a high speed. No matter how the scorching sunlight split and disintegrated, it would turn back into a hole. The situation was like a chainsaw stabbing into a tub of water. How is this possible? The three-eyed saint felt as if his divine light of destruction had pierced through a bottomless lake. Zhao Feng completely ignored the remaining part of his divine light of destruction. So that's how it is. The ghost-eyed man and Tuoba Chi looked at each other and understood. As it turned out, Zhao Feng's divine light of destruction focused on the physical dimension, and his eye bloodline power was much stronger when it came to splitting and slicing the physical dimension. This way, the physical attack of the three-eyed saint's divine light of destruction was completely nullified by Zhao Feng. All that was left was the mental energy attack. However, Zhao Feng completely ignored the divine light of destruction, which was only a mental attack. This was the biggest advantage of his god's spiritual eye. However, his opponent, the three-eyed saint, didn't have the ability to ignore the divine light of destruction in the physical dimension. Sai. The three-eyed saint harumphed. The divine light of destruction that Zhao Feng had used still had 30 to 40% of its power left, but he had taken it head-on. On one hand, he had to use the divine light of destruction, and on the other hand, he had to use his chi of true spirit to protect himself. On the other hand, Zhao Feng. All he needed to do was to activate the divine light of destruction with all his might and perform the splitting and slicing of matter to the extreme. Like this, the gap between the two of them widened. When countless specks of sharpness appeared on the azure light and sliced his body apart. In just 2 breaths, the three-eyed saint screamed as tiny cuts appeared on his body. I told you that I only need half of my divine light of destruction to beat you. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. Indeed. He hadn't fully comprehended the divine light of destruction, and the mental energy attack was extremely complicated. However, Zhao Feng didn't need the other half of the mental energy attack. One had to know that. The three-eyed saint had 3 or 4 pieces of soul-protecting equipment on him. He knew that Zhao Feng specialized in mental energy techniques and had prepared them for him. If Zhao Feng used the divine light of destruction's mental energy attack, wouldn't it be a waste? Therefore, Zhao Feng decided to cut off the other half of the divine light of destruction and only use the other half of the divine light of destruction. It was like Tianji's horse race. hitting the three-eyed saint's weak spot. Break! Zhao Feng's left eye released an even stronger surge of eye bloodline power. Only now did he reveal his true strength. When the cold moon azure rainbow that pierced through the void shone with dazzling light, becoming even sharper and colder. Arg! The three-eyed saint let out a cry. His body was a bloody mess with countless cuts. Whoosh! The three-eyed saint's body flew back and fell into a pool of blood. Zhao Feng stood in the clouds and looked down. He didn't kill the three-eyed saint. At this moment, the entire tea party was dead silent, and the sound of people taking in cold breaths could be heard. The ghost-eyed man and Tuoba Chi looked at each other. The three-eyed saint's defeat wasn't just miserable, it was also a humiliation. He didn't lose to his opponent's eye bloodline, but to his own divine light of destruction. This made everyone remember what Zhao Feng had said, "I'm going to challenge the continent's #1 eye bloodline family with a humble attitude." On the peak of the mountain. Humble attitude? The grass hat elder's face twitched. This Zhao Feng is very shrewd. He clearly has the advantage in eye bloodline power, but he's going to challenge him with such humility. I've already used my eye bloodline power on Sheng, but I was still one step behind. The head of the Golden Sun family said unwillingly. According to the plan, with his eye bloodline power supporting the three-eyed saint, the difference in eye bloodline power between the two wouldn't be too big. Under this situation, there was a high chance that they would end in a draw or both sides would be heavily injured. Who can you blame? He didn't lose because of the difference in strength, but because of his strategy. The grass hat elder sighed. Hearing this, the head of the Golden Sun family started to think, and his heart became heavier. Indeed. In the end, Zhao Feng's victory wasn't due to overwhelming strength. If he had replicated the complete version of the divine light of destruction, he wouldn't have been able to suppress the three-eyed saint. Zhao Feng's control of the situation was extremely clear. Firstly, he hadn't completely comprehended the divine light of destruction. Only using half of the divine light of destruction was more beneficial to him. After all, although the divine light of destruction was built on the element of wind, it was different from the elements of light and blazing Sunday. Black lines appeared on the grass hat elder's forehead as he pressed the head of the Golden Sun family onto the ground. It was fine if the three-eyed saint lost. At most, he would lose the title of the continent's #1 eye bloodline. Although he wasn't #1, he wasn't bad either. However, if the world knew that the Golden Sun family cheated and was defeated by Zhao Feng, what face would they have left? Chapter 519. As the battle for the strongest eye bloodline came to an end, the tea party came to an end. Goddess Bing Wei and the three-eyed saint were both heavily injured and suffered great setbacks. On the tea party grounds, the true dragon geniuses and spectators said their goodbyes and left. Amongst them, the first to leave was none other than the king of overwhelming prodigies of the tea party, Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng left in a hurry, as if he had something urgent to do. Before most people knew what was going on, Zhao Feng had already left. What's going on with Zhao Feng? Why did he leave without saying goodbye? Prince Jin and company from the Canopy Great Country were puzzled. Mo Tianyi, Zhang Yuyue, Shi Qingtian, and company didn't even have time to greet Zhao Feng before Zhao Feng left. Many true dragon geniuses and people that knew him were waiting for the battle to finish to celebrate with Zhao Feng. However, Zhao Feng didn't give anyone the chance. He turned into a bolt of lightning and merged into the clouds. His speed was so fast that even the overwhelming prodigies couldn't catch up to him. Jiang Sanfeng, did Zhao Feng have something urgent to do? Why did he leave in such a hurry? Mo Tianyi, Shi Qingtian, and company asked. Everyone's gazes turned toward Jiang Sanfeng and Dai Yi from the Iron Blood religion with Zhao Feng. Jiang Sanfeng and Dai Yi looked at each other and shook their heads with a bitter smile. Zhao Feng left so suddenly that no one knew where he was going or what his intentions were. Just as the two were puzzled, A voice sounded in their minds, "Go back to the canopy great country with Mo Tianyi. I have something to do." At the same time, a similar voice sounded in the minds of Mo Tianyi, Shi Qingtian, and company. "It's Xiao Feng. Looks like he did have something to do and left first." Everyone looked at each other in disappointment. Xiao Feng had defeated the three overwhelming prodigies in the True Dragon Tea Party and the Three-Eyed Saint, who was ranked first in the True Dragon Tea Party 2 years ago, cementing his status as the king of overwhelming prodigies. At the same time, the title of the continent's #1 eye bloodline, which had lasted for tens of thousands of years, had changed hands because of him. Xiao Feng's future achievements were immeasurable. As long as he didn't die prematurely, he was destined to be a dominating figure who could decide the fate of the continent. Everyone would want to befriend such a heaven's chosen king when they were young. On a distant mountain peak, the head of the Golden Sun family and the old man wearing the straw hat had solemn expressions on their faces. Especially the head of the Golden Sun family. He was filled with resentment and a hint of killing intent could be seen in his eyes. "If the two of us work together, we still have a 60 to 70% chance of killing him." The old man in the straw hat glanced at the head of the Golden Sun family. "Only 60 or 70%? The head of the Golden Sun family couldn't believe it. With his peak True Lord rank cultivation and his sacred eye bloodline, no one below the Origin Core realm was his match. Even though the straw-hatted elder wasn't a martial highness, he was only half a step away from becoming a martial highness 100 years ago, so he was much stronger than ordinary half-step martial highnesses. If the two worked together, they could fight at least 2 or 3 half-step primal core realms. That brat specializes in speed and has learned the secret techniques of the 3 major eye bloodlines of the continent. If we don't kill him, the Golden Sun family will have to bear unimaginable consequences," the grass-hatted elder said. Hearing this, the expression of the head of the Golden Sun family changed. There was a certain amount of risk in killing Xiao Feng, and the consequences were unimaginable. Being an overwhelming prodigy of dozens of generations, Xiao Feng had the potential to reach the peak of this era. Even Sword Saint Yi Wuxie, the three-eyed heavenly lord, and company were weaker than him when they were the same age. "First elder, please." The head of the Golden Sun family took a deep breath and hesitated. The consequences of killing Xiao Feng were too terrifying. Of course, the head of the Golden Sun family hadn't received any news of the Iron Blood religion leader's revival. If they knew that there was an Origin Core realm sovereign behind Xiao Feng, they wouldn't dare to do anything even if they were 100 times more courageous. The greater the reward, the greater the risk. It's just whether or not the risk is worth it. What benefit does killing Xiao Feng bring to us? You're the head of the Golden Sun family, so you decide. The grass-hatted elder's smile contained deep meaning. Hearing this, the head of the Golden Sun family seemed to understand something and started to think. Suddenly, a sharp light flashed in his eyes and a heroic aura rose from his body. "You've made your decision." The grass-hatted elder smiled. The head of the Golden Sun family took a deep breath. "This Xiao Feng's eye bloodline is heaven-defying, and his potential is immeasurable. He's only 20 years old and has already gained so much. If we can use the eye-stealing forbidden technique to steal his eye bloodline, the future of the continent might be the Golden Sun family." Courageous. That's what a head of the Golden Sun family should be like. The grass-hatted elder nodded his head. Even the Golden Sun family only has an incomplete theory of the eye-stealing forbidden technique, and the success rate is less than 5%. However, even the smallest chance can change the fate of us, the Golden Sun family, and even the continent. At this moment, the head of the Golden Sun family and the grass-hatted elder had the same thoughts. If one wanted to achieve great things, they needed to be courageous and put their lives on the line. Chase. The head of the Golden Sun family and the grass-hatted elder turned into a golden and silver blur that shot into the clouds. Sacred Eye Insight. The head of the Golden Sun family opened his third eye, and everything within 100 miles could be seen. Even if Xiao Feng ran 10 times further away, the head of the Golden Sun family would still be able to catch up to him with his sacred eye bloodline. It was because of this that the two of them didn't immediately chase after him. He hasn't run far. He's still 100 miles away. The head of the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline had already confirmed Xiao Feng's location. Their cultivation was dense, and their speed increased as they chased after Xiao Feng. The distance between the two of them and Xiao Feng was slowly getting closer. Wen Pa La. A pair of wings of wind and lightning suddenly extended from Xiao Feng's back, and the wind-lightning yuan qi in heaven and earth started to tremble. Xiao Feng's speed instantly rose, and wherever he went, wind howled and wind howled. Not good, he sensed us. This brat's eye bloodline is really terrifying. Don't let him get away. The expressions of the head of the Golden Sun family and the grass-hatted elder changed as they circulated their secret techniques to increase their speed. However, with the help of the wings of wind and lightning, Xiao Feng's flying speed was much faster than theirs. The two tried their best, but not only were they unable to catch up to Xiao Feng, the distance between them was even increasing. There's no need to rush. His flying technique shouldn't be able to last long. We've cultivated for at least 100 years, and our yuan qi is denser than his. The grass-hatted elder smiled calmly. That's right. The head of the Golden Sun family couldn't help but nod his head. In terms of endurance, the two of them were confident that they could beat Xiao Feng. Furthermore, the head of the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline could chase after Xiao Feng. So on the other side, Xiao Feng's flying speed was extremely fast, and he soon left the two behind him 100 miles behind. At this moment, dozens of miles ahead, there was a deep forest. Skeletal Division Leader. Xiao Feng seemed to run out of energy, so he slowed down and spoke. Are you sure you want to do this? The Skeletal Division Leader went silent. Xiao Feng didn't reply. He landed on the ground and walked into the depths of the forest. Within the forest, Shua. Two blurry figures appeared on a tree. One was a black-robed female, and the other was a large figure wearing a crown. Especially the figure with the crown on his head, there was a layer of strange and twisted dark light surrounding him at all times. Elder, that brat's heading toward us. The black-robed female said. N. The Scarlet Moon Division Leader Token has sensed something and is coming closer. The elder of the Scarlet Moon Division Leader looked forward. Ta-ta! Ta-ta! The sound of footsteps came from ahead. They were steady and powerful as they got closer. It wasn't hard to see that the owner of the footsteps had a clear goal and was walking toward them. A strange light appeared in Elder Shadow's eyes, which were silent and dark. Elder, do you want me to take him down? The black-robed lady's entire body rippled with a wave of cold and dark blade energy. The air around her suddenly stagnated, and an invisible chill seeped into every grass and every tree in the surroundings. The dark shadow elder didn't say anything. Ta-ta! Ta-ta! The owner of the footsteps appeared in sight. It was a blue-haired youth with a calm expression, as if he was taking a stroll. The killing intent coming from the black-robed female was enough to kill anyone below the origin core realm, but it didn't seem to affect him. Brat, you dare to walk into a trap. Why aren't you giving up in front of the Scarlet Moon Elder? The black-robed female left behind a series of ripples. Shua. The blue-haired youth's eyes blurred as a wisp of cold blade aura wrapped around his neck. Finally, the blue-haired youth's footsteps stopped. If he moved again, the blade aura around his neck would behead him at any time. Xiao Feng's body was covered by the coldness of death and he couldn't help but sigh. A servant-like existence had strength close to Lu Tiany's back then. Blue-haired brat, why do you have the aura of the Scarlet Moon Division Leader Token on you? Why aren't you kneeling to the Scarlet Moon Elder? The black-robed female was like a ghost as she stood behind Xiao Feng. Xiao Feng's expression didn't change. Even when he heard the words, Scarlet Moon Elder, he still restrained the shock in his heart to the limit. Elder Ji Sha, I haven't seen you for hundreds of years. How have you been? Zhao Feng didn't bother with the black-robed woman. Instead, he looked at the shadowy elder who seemed to have merged with the world. How do you know the elder's name? The black-robed female was shocked. The elder wearing a crown couldn't help but let out a soft cry of surprise. You are? The two were surprised. This strange blue-haired teenager recognized Elder Wang Guan, who was shrouded in a twisted and dark shadow at first glance. Could it be that this youth was also from the Scarlet Moon demonic religion? Or a descendant of the demonic religion? But if he was a descendant of the demonic religion, he shouldn't have seen the Scarlet Moon Elder from hundreds of years ago? Tsk Tisk, Elder Ji Sha, who recruited you into the Scarlet Moon demonic religion and recommended you to the Patriarch? 300 years ago, when you and Protector Iron Bones were being chased by Sword Saint Yu Wuxia, who came to help you? Zhao Feng licked his lips. Zhao Feng didn't hesitate to say these words in one breath. Ah! The black-robed female who was holding Zhao Feng from behind exclaimed. From his tone, this blue-haired youth seemed to have a great background and seemed to be very familiar with Elder Ji Sha. He was at least at the same level as the upper echelons of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. Your division leader Yogu. Elder Ji Sha's body, which was in the distorted shadow, trembled slightly. A hint of joy appeared in his eyes. Chapter 520. In the depths of the forest. Zhao Feng and Elder Destruction looked at each other and a faint smile appeared on their faces. The crown on Elder Destruction's head made him look like a dark shadow in the night sky. You really are division leader Yogu? Weren't you? There was a hint of joy on Elder Terminator's face. Zhao Feng chuckled. Even you managed to survive until now, so how could I have died in that great calamity? Hearing this, the heart of the black-robed beauty that was holding Zhao Feng shook, and her hands started to tremble as she revealed an uneasy expression. She never would have thought that this youth that wasn't even 20 years old was one of the division leaders of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. In the Scarlet Moon demonic sect, every hall master was a powerhouse that ruled over an area. At the peak of the demonic religion, a single division could fight against the 10 great sects of the continent. The status of a division leader was on par with an elder of the demonic religion. Division leader Yogu, how did you become like this? A trace of puzzlement appeared in Elder Terminator's dark and silent eyes. There was still a trace of cautious doubt in him. Shua! Zhao Feng waved his hand, and a terrifying human-shaped skeleton appeared with 2 balls of fire in its eye sockets. My old bones can't take it anymore. It's not a bad choice to possess this peerless prodigy with the highest potential and bloodline and try to reconstruct his body. Zhao Feng said. The red flames in the skeletal division leader's eye sockets seemed to be dazed, but it didn't say anything. Through the dark heart seed, there was a profound connection between Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. It was as if the skeletal division leader's mind was completely on Zhao Feng and it was controlling this prodigy. So that's how it is. The majority of Elder Destruction's doubt disappeared. With Zhao Feng purposely leaking it, it wasn't hard for Elder Destruction to see the mental energy connection between Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. However, Elder Terminator would never have thought that Zhao Feng, this newcomer, was the true, controlling side. Even someone as strong as the division leader of the Scarlet Moon Division was the one being enslaved. Hallmaster Yogu, your attainments in the Tao of Psychic Ghosts could be said to be the best in the continent. Why haven't you completely taken over this kid's body? On the other hand, Elder Terminator sneered. From his point of view, with the skeletal division leader's mastery of the Tao of the soul and mental energy, it shouldn't be too hard for it to take over a junior's body. Humph. That's easy for you to say. This brat is an overwhelming prodigy of dozens of generations and swept the sacred True Dragon Gathering. Not long ago, his eye bloodline defeated the strongest successor of the Golden Sun family in 1,000 years. Zhao Feng snickered coldly and spoke in the skeletal division leader's tone. Subsequently, from the skeletal division leader's point of view, Zhao Feng told the skeletal division leader everything that had happened in the past year. After Elder Terminator and the black-robed woman heard this, they looked at Zhao Feng in surprise. Only now did the two realize that this blue-haired youth controlled by Hallmaster Yogu had such a strong background. They were especially shocked that Zhao Feng's Eye bloodline had defeated the strongest successor of the Golden Sun family in 1,000 years and won the title of the strongest Eye bloodline in the continent. This youth's talent and bloodline are so strong. Even the successor of the Golden Sun family was crushed by him. Elder Terminator was slightly envious that the skeletal division leader was able to take over such a body. Being able to do this meant that Zhao Feng's talent and bloodline had definitely surpassed the Scarlet Moon Religion Patriarch and Sword Saint Yi Wuxie. You should be able to sense how strong this brat's mental energy source is. I've only awakened a year or two ago and am still extremely weak. It's already a miracle that I was able to enslave him. Zhao Feng sighed. Hearing this, Elder Terminator nodded his head and didn't have any more questions. Although Zhao Feng's source of mental energy was hidden, Elder Terminator could still sense a bit of it with his level of cultivation. Shua. Zhao Feng waved his hand and put the skeletal division leader away, then said, "My original body is still very weak. I'll take over this brat's body after I recover my strength." Elder Terminator and the black-robed woman didn't suspect anything. At this point in time, their thoughts had completely changed and they treated Zhao Feng as the skeletal division leader. "Division leader, what's the relationship between you and those two people?" the black-robed woman asked respectfully. At the same time, she was on guard as she looked at the two figures in the distant sky who were chasing after her. "It's that brat who defeated the strongest successor of the Golden Sun family and took the title of the strongest Eye bloodline in the continent." Zhao Feng's mouth twitched. After several hundred years, the Golden Sun family is still so shameless. Elder Terminator snickered coldly. Right at this moment, so. The head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder looked down from above. "Be careful of sneak attacks. After all, this brat has mastered one of the 3 major Eye bloodlines," the Grass Hat Elder warned. The head of the Golden Sun family didn't dare to be careless and scanned the area below with his third eye. Soon, the head of the Golden Sun family saw Zhao Feng and a black-robed woman. He was slightly surprised that the black-robed woman had reached the peak True Lord rank. A measly peak True Lord rank isn't worth worrying about. Under normal situations, I can instantly kill him with my Eye bloodline. The head of the Golden Sun family's sacred eye quickly scanned over the forest but didn't find anything else. The Grass Hat Elder also spread out his spiritual sense and faintly nodded his head. Kill. The head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder turned into 2 streaks of light and charged down toward Zhao Feng and the black-robed woman. "How dare you be so rude to the division leader?" the black-robed woman shouted coldly. With a swoosh sound, her slender figure turned into a misty ripple-like shadow and greeted the 2 uninvited guests. What a weird movement skill. Zhao Feng's heart moved. In terms of speed, the black-robed woman was on par with him when he didn't use the wings of wind and lightning. On the other hand, the opponent's movement skill was extremely weird. It was as if she had merged into the world of darkness and twisted the light around her. Smoke-killing shadow. Ripples of illusory blades flashed through the air, accompanied by invisible killing intent, shooting towards the head of the Golden Sun family and the old man in the straw hat. "Watch out, this woman uses the Tao of shadow killing," the Grass Hat Elder warned. Even though he was stronger than normal half-step origin core realms, he still revealed a cautious expression. Shua. Shua. Their surroundings were dark and gloomy. Killing shadows and illusory blades appeared one after another, and a few of them instantly brushed past the 2 of them. Shua. The head of the Golden Sun family's leg was hit by a blade and he groaned in pain. If his reaction had been slightly slower, it wouldn't have just been a light injury. In a short instant, the head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder were both caught off guard. It wasn't that they weren't as strong as the black-robed woman, it was just that their attention was on Zhao Feng and they ignored the black-robed woman. Three-eyed divine light, spatial destruction restriction. The head of the Golden Sun family roared as the third eye on his forehead shot out a wave of purple light that twisted the air. Whoosh! 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 Wherever the divine light passed by, the trees nearby were turned into dust. Though the misty blur that the black-robed woman had turned into was restricted by an invisible force. Her figure was instantly exposed as if she had fallen into a swamp, and her speed decreased. Not good. The three-eyed divine light of the Golden Sun family. The black-robed woman's expression changed drastically, and a layer of smoke-like ripples rose from her body to resist the penetration and restraint of the spatial annihilation illusion in this area. However, the sacred eye of the Golden Sun family was once the strongest bloodline in the continent. How could it be broken so easily? Shwa! The black-robed woman's body was almost frozen, and the misty blur around her started to fade as if it was being dissolved by some kind of power. What a profound eye bloodline. This person is the head of the Golden Sun family. His usage of the three-eyed divine light has reached a godly level. If I had fought with him before, I wouldn't have been able to tell who would have won. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be moved. In terms of bloodline quality and purity, the head of the Golden Sun family wasn't as good as the three-eyed saint. However, the head of the Golden Sun family's eye bloodline was much stronger than the three-eyed saint's. Even normal half-step origin core realms might not be the head of the Golden Sun family's match. The black-robed woman, who specialized in the Tao of assassination, was stronger than Tiamat, but she was completely suppressed at this moment. You're unlucky to meet the sacred eye of the Golden Sun family in the Tao of assassination. The head of the Golden Sun family's third eye released an even stronger eye bloodline power that restricted the black-robed woman and destroyed her defenses. The black-robed woman gritted her teeth unwillingly. Although her Tao was strong, it was easily countered by an eye bloodline, let alone the sacred eye bloodline of the former number 1 family. Humph. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye was surrounded by a ball of lightning as he prepared to save the black-robed woman. Zhao Feng. Your opponent is me. A hoarse voice came from above. Zhao Feng suddenly felt a pressure, as if a god of 10 million kilograms had descended from the sky. Silver Saint Demon suppressing technique. A pair of dazzling silver palms slammed down from the sky, drawing in the heaven-earth yuan qi within a radius of 100 miles. It was as if all of nature had become the source of its power. Half-step origin core realm? Or is it a sovereign? Zhao Feng's heart jumped. The air around him seemed to be suppressed by a giant mountain of yuan qi. Normal true lord ranks would find it hard to even move. On top of that, 2 cold silver crescent moons appeared in the Grass Hat Elder's eyes and clashed with Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye. He also had an eye bloodline. Even Lu Tianyi from the Purple Saint ruins wasn't this strong. Zhao Feng found it hard to breathe and his expression was solemn. At this moment, his source of true spirit, God's spiritual eye, and bloodline power were all circulated to the maximum. If he didn't focus 120%, under normal situations, Zhao Feng might not even be able to fight the Grass Hat Elder without using the Ice Imperial Spear. At the same time, save me. The black-robed woman was suppressed by the three-eyed light and her defense was about to break. No need to panic. They're just 2 bugs. Leave them to me. A mysterious voice seemed to come from the darkness. Shwa. A layer of dark light, like a curtain of night falling from the sky, instantly enveloped a radius of half a mile. It quickly spread out and even engulfed the entire forest. That's... The Grass Hat Elder and the head of the Golden Sun family froze. In the blink of an eye, they were surrounded by an endless darkness and felt as if they had stolen the sun. Unbeknownst to them, a tall figure wearing a crown had appeared above their heads. This shadow-like existence seemed to be the uncrowned king of the night. Sovereign. Sovereign. The grass hat elder revealed a look of fear as he felt the terrifying aura of the crowned figure. Shoo! Shoo! In the dark world, two cold shadow blades extended out without any warning and instantly pierced through their bodies. Blood splattered everywhere. Chapter 521. Under the sunlight. The dark forest seemed to be distorted by some kind of power. It was filled with dark shadows, like the expansion of the dark curtain of night. In the air, the bodies of the head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder were like dead loaches as they struggled. Shoo! In the darkness, two cold shadow blades pierced through their bodies without a sound or warning. The head of the Golden Sun family didn't even have the chance to dodge. His heart was pierced through and his life force was instantly extinguished. You! The head of the Golden Sun family kept his head up and could barely see Elder Ji Sha's figure. Plop! He fell into a puddle of blood and his eyes were filled with fear, unwillingness, and confusion. Being killed without any warning, how angry was the head of the Golden Sun family? He didn't even know the opponent's name before he died. As for the other old man in the straw hat, his body barely shifted half an inch, but his chest was still pierced by the cold shadow blade, brushing past his heart. A sovereign of the Tao of assassination, could you be the silent death sovereign from back then? The Grass Hat Elder's face was filled with fear as he coughed and blood leaked out of his mouth. The only thing he could do was raise his head and look at the crowned shadow that had successfully assassinated him. On the other side, Zhao Feng stood still and suppressed the shock in his heart. This is the strength of an Origin Core Realm sovereign. It wasn't that Zhao Feng hadn't seen Origin Core Realm experts before. He had seen the true appearance of sovereigns in the Rising Dragon auction and the Sacred True Dragon gathering. The Iron Blood Religion Patriarch was also an Origin Core Realm sovereign. However, this was the first time he had seen the strength of a sovereign. The head of the Golden Sun family's strength is definitely comparable to a half-step Origin Core Realm. The Grass Hat Elder is even stronger and has an eye bloodline. Under normal circumstances, it would be hard for me to escape from the two of them. Zhao Feng couldn't calm down. He originally thought that his battle power was invincible against those below the Origin Core Realm and that he should be able to fight back. From the looks of it, his estimation seemed to be a little off. Elder Ji Sha isn't an ordinary venerable. He cultivates the Shadow Assassination Tao. During the Crimson Moon era, he was responsible for assassinating some of the continent's peak experts, and the number of sovereigns who died at his hands was not small. In one of his most glorious moments, he participated in the assassination of Venerable Swordsman Yi Wuxie and almost succeeded. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded in his mind. The path of assassination. Zhao Feng was startled. It turned out that this Elder Ji Sha was not an ordinary primal core cultivator but a venerate skilled in the assassination Tao. No wonder the head of the Golden Sun family couldn't detect Elder Ji Sha even with his sacred eye bloodline. These two people were dealt with as easily as slicing carrots. Elder Ji Sha, I didn't expect you to have recovered the strength you had back then. You dealt with these two small fries rather quickly. Zhao Feng played it down and did not show any surprise. Two little shrimps. Hearing that, the expression of the black-robed female twitched weirdly. One of the people killed was the head of the strongest family in the continent, and the other one was very likely an elder of the Golden Sun family whose strength surpassed normal half-step Origin Core realms. Of course. It was easy for Zhao Feng to say that, but if he really had to face these two, he would most likely run faster than a rabbit. Hall Master Yogu, if you recover your peak strength and use your soul energy secret art to control others, you will be on par with me. Elder Ji Sha wasn't surprised and didn't feel that Zhao Feng's words were arrogant. Division Leader Yogu. You're... The Grass Hat Elder's heart shook as he exclaimed. Helplessness, bitterness, and regret were written all over his face. If the two of them knew that their target was the former division leader of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion, they probably wouldn't dare to do anything even if they were given 100 guts. Plop. The grass hat elder only lasted for a few breaths before dying. Elder Ji Sha specialized in the Tao of slaughter. Even if he didn't hit the heart, he could still easily kill a half-step origin core realm. In just a few breaths, the head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass Hat Elder fell into a pool of blood. No one saw the process of them being killed or the trajectory of Elder Ji Sha's attack. Even Zhao Feng couldn't react in time. Shua. The dark shadow that covered this area suddenly faded away. Only Elder Terminator was left in the twisted shadow. Division Leader Yogu, how did you offend the Golden Sun family? I heard that you're in charge of a region in the northern continent. Elder Ji Sha landed next to Zhao Feng. Being so close to Elder Ji Sha made Zhao Feng feel a chill in his heart. His current situation was like walking on a tightrope on a precipice. Although Zhao Feng had already predicted that the one following him was most likely a sovereign, he still didn't know what to do. However, Elder Ji Sha wasn't a normal origin core realm. He specialized in assassination, and Zhao Feng wouldn't be able to fight back at all in front of him. Under this situation, Zhao Feng couldn't panic at all in case he gave himself away. At the same time, he warned the Skeletal Division leader that if it tried anything, he could kill it with just a thought. The Skeletal Division leader was very obedient. It knew that Zhao Feng could kill it faster than Elder Ji Sha could kill Zhao Feng. The situation in the northern continent isn't looking good. Zhao Feng sighed bitterly as he tried to choose the most general or ambiguous words from the Skeletal Division leader. With me guarding the middle continent, the pressure here is greater. Elder Ji Sha shook his head faintly. Zhao Feng also understood a bit of the situation from Elder Terminator. So, in the Scarlet Moon demonic religion's plan, the middle continent was the most important. Most of their experts were here. All of this was to deal with a powerful force, the Sacred Alliance. Oh right, there's a division leader in a large country nearby. Do you want to meet him? The Patriarch is also in the middle continent and will soon come out of seclusion. Elder Ji Sha's next words made Zhao Feng's heart jump. If he wasn't careful, he would enter the core of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. When the Scarlet Moon Patriarch was also in the middle continent and they might meet, Zhao Feng had the urge to run away. Luckily, Zhao Feng's mentality was strong enough and he couldn't panic or run away. I also want to meet the Patriarch. But there's still some mess in the northern continent that needs to be dealt with quickly or the consequences will be unimaginable. Furthermore, I need to recover my strength as soon as possible. Zhao Feng was helpless. Elder Ji Sha tried to get him to stay but was rejected by Zhao Feng. Oh well, it's not wrong for you to look at the big picture. Elder Ji Sha didn't force him. After that, the two leaders of the Scarlet Moon demonic sect discussed some secret matters in private before bidding their farewells. In the entire process, Zhao Feng was walking on thin ice. If it wasn't for the fact that he had the Jade Dragon protection, he wouldn't have tried this plan. Half a month later, in Golden Sun Sacred City. So, an indescribably powerful aura pierced through the clouds and flew above Golden Sun Sacred City. Who's there? The guards on the city tower saw a ball of dazzling light descending from the sky. That magnificent light was like a dazzling flash between heaven and earth, giving off a strong visual impact on one's soul. Is Zhao Feng here? The newcomer was a black-haired youth. His eyes were as deep as the sky. The youth stood with his hands behind his back, and his every action contained an indescribable intent that pierced through the soul. Zhao Feng. Many experts on the city walls and within Golden Sun Sacred City were alarmed. The aura of the newcomer was too strong. His strength and confidence seemed to be able to destroy everything. It's him. Yu Tianhao. Someone exclaimed as they recognized the black-haired youth. The Golden Sun Sacred City instantly broke out into chaos. It's him. The invincible overwhelming prodigy king. We just sent away that nightmare half a month ago, and now another one has come. The members of the Golden Sun family all felt a trace of helplessness. Half a month ago. Zhao Feng had swept the tea party, defeated the Three-Eyed Saint, and took the title of the strongest eye bloodline in the continent. This was a heavy blow to the Golden Sun family. And now, a overwhelming prodigy king who was on par with Zhao Feng had come, Yu Tianhao. In terms of fame, Yu Tianhao was even above Zhao Feng before the tea party. This was because Yu Tianhao had come first in the last Sacred True Dragon Gathering. Even in the recent Sacred True Dragon Gathering, Zhao Feng wasn't able to beat Yu Tianhao. Yu Tianhao, the tea party has ended. An enraged voice came from Golden Sun Sacred City. Shua. A golden-haired young man with a body as sharp as a knife and a closed eye on his forehead appeared in the sky. The newcomer was the Three-Eyed Saint. Ever since he lost last time, the Three-Eyed Saint hadn't been in a good mood, and no one dared to offend him. At least a dozen people had died from the Three-Eyed Saint's anger. Therefore, when the Three-Eyed Saint appeared, everyone in the Golden Sun Sacred City became silent, afraid that the saint would take his anger out on them if they did anything wrong. The Three-Eyed Saint obviously didn't have a good expression when he saw Yu Tianhao. Originally, his only opponent for the tea party was Yu Tianhao, but Yu Tianhao didn't even come. In the end, the Three-Eyed Saint lost and his father disappeared. The anger in his heart couldn't be vented. You're the Three-Eyed Saint. Yu Tianhao's eyes twinkled. He seemed to know the name of the youth in front of him. The Three-Eyed Saint snorted coldly, Yu Tianhao, the true dragon tea party is over. Do you think I'm easy to bully now that you've come to Golden Sun Sacred City to challenge me after Zhao Feng? No. Yu Tianhao shook his head and said, tea party. Not interested. I'm here to find Zhao Feng, he's my only opponent. Hearing that, the Three-Eyed Saint's anger that had just calmed down almost exploded. Preposterous. He was too arrogant. Zhao Feng, one of the two overwhelming prodigies, came to Golden Sun Sacred City with a humble attitude. As for this person, he was simply extremely conceited and arrogant. Does anyone know where Zhao Feng went? Yu Tianhao scanned the crowd. However, no one dared to answer him. They were afraid of being affected by the Three-Eyed Saint's anger. Yu Tianhao didn't stay at all. He turned around and murmured to himself, then I'll go to the Canopy Great Country. Chapter 522. Seeing that there was no answer, Yu Tianhao released a mystic light and flew out of the Golden Sun Sacred City. He turned around and left. Everyone on the Golden Sun Sacred City paused. From Yu Tianhao's actions, it seemed that he wasn't interested in the tea party or the Three-Eyed Saint. Humph. You want to leave just like that? A hint of anger appeared in the Three-Eyed Saint's eyes. The feeling of being looked down upon ignited the anger in his heart. So. A cold snicker sounded as a golden light flew out of the Golden Sun Sacred City and closed in on Yu Tianhao. What do you want? Yu Tianhao stopped in the air and looked coldly at the Three-Eyed Saint. Yu Tianhao, there's still a battle between us. The Three-Eyed Saint's body was covered in a layer of golden light as his third eye opened. It was like a golden sun that released a blinding light. The golden eye bloodline aura spread through the air and swept toward Zhao Feng's face and soul. Even the other peerless geniuses had struggled to face the aura head-on. Worthy of being the champion of the last two Sacred True Dragon gatherings. Unfortunately, this isn't your era anymore. Furthermore, the Golden Sun family has always been defeated by the Yu family in the past several hundred years. Yu Tianhao was slightly regretful. Ignorant brat. Back when I swept through the Sacred True Dragon gatherings, you were still wearing diapers. The Three-Eyed Saint raised his eyebrows and laughed instead of getting angry. Although they had heard of Yu Tianhao's arrogance, they were still shocked. One had to know that. The three-eyed saint had become the champion of the last two sacred true dragon gatherings before Yu Tianhao and could be said to be Yu Tianhao's senior. In terms of experience and cultivation, the three-eyed saint was above Yu Tianhao. Let's fight. Yu Tianhao was decisive as a powerful battle intent surged from him. It was obvious that Yu Tianhao had heard of the three-eyed saint's name and knew that he did have the qualifications to be his opponent. I will take back the glory of the Golden Sun family. The three-eyed saint's bloodline was fully activated as his third eye locked onto Yu Tianhao, and a golden eye bloodline power burned through the air. Yu Tianhao's figure sank slightly as the space around him seemed to be restricted. Golden Void Dragon Sun Claw. The three-eyed saint's golden hand reached out, and a giant golden claw that was dozens of yards long shone with a scorching red light. Pa! That astonishing claw faintly shook the air, forming a perfect combination with the sacred eye bloodline's lock and lock. Even peak true lord ranks would be shocked by such an attack and would find it hard to take it head-on. Yu Tianhao stood where he was without dodging. He didn't care if he was locked on by the sacred eye bloodline. Break! Without any hesitation, Yu Tianhao simply slashed out with his palm, as if he was looking down on everything. With the naked eye, one could only see an unparalleled and magnificent palm light, like a mysterious aurora that traversed the heavens and the earth. At that moment, it became the center of nature, drawing in the boundless and domineering Yuan Qi power, suppressing all things. If Xiao Feng was here, he would be shocked. The intent of Yu Tianhao's palm strike was similar to the mental state of a martial highness. However, Yu Tianhao's state was expressed through his own will. It was very simple. Crack! A huge explosion came from the clouds. The people of the Golden Sun's sacred city felt a strong gust of wind blowing sand in their faces. Plop! 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 Some of the spectators on the city tower were sent flying by the strong shockwaves. The scene was chaotic. Some of the true spirit realm experts held their breaths as they observed the battle with shock on their faces. In the sky, the three-eyed saint's golden claw was instantly pierced through and shattered. Wah! The three-eyed saint spat out a mouthful of blood and exclaimed in disbelief, an unparalleled technique? No. It seems to have merged with the intent of an inheritance. Three-eyed saint, if you don't show your true ability, you won't have any chance at all. Yu Tianhao smiled proudly. The three-eyed saint took a deep breath as his expression became solemn. Before the clash, he thought that Yu Tianhao was slightly weaker than Xiao Feng because Yu Tianhao didn't have such a monstrous eye bloodline, so he had a high chance of winning. However, only after exchanging blows did the three-eyed saint realize how terrifying Yu Tianhao and the Yu family were. No wonder his father's generation was stepped on by the Yu family. Even someone as strong as Xiao Feng couldn't defeat Yu Tianhao in the sacred true dragon gathering. Three-eyed divine light, golden crow world incineration. The third eye on the three-eyed saint's forehead was like a blazing sun. Boom! A three-legged flaming bird in the shape of a golden crow turned into a blazing sun that pierced through the sky and destroyed everything in its path. A wisp of forbidden flame qi pierced through the air, seeping into the void and burning it. At this moment in time, the three-eyed saint's three-eyed divine light had been pushed to the extreme, and it could split mental energy and the physical world. Ha ha ha! That's more like it. Yu Tianhao let out a long laugh and struck out with his palm again. Unparalleled. A dazzling and mysterious giant palm surrounded by wisps of cold crystal light seemed to have swallowed and assimilated a part of the world. Boom! The aurora palm and the vast yuan qi of heaven and earth shone brilliantly. It had a kind of supreme and domineering aura that could sweep through the world. Wherever it passed, everything was crushed and crushed. My God! The experts in the Golden Sun sacred city held their breaths as their hearts jumped. Everything within several miles seemed to be engulfed by this unparalleled palm. Even the sun and moon seemed to be engulfed by it. The three-eyed saint also felt small under that domineering aura. Even his father, the first elder of the family, couldn't give him such pressure. Although the three-eyed divine light could destroy everything in its path, his attack seemed to have pierced through a boundless mountain and was blocked by a dominating power. What was even more terrifying was that Yu Tianhao's palm contained an indescribably powerful mental energy. The three-eyed divine light's power of splitting and analyzing mental energy couldn't even take a single blow. Boom! The three-eyed saint didn't even last a breath or two in front of the palm before being sent flying. Bam! Tang! So! His body flipped in the air as he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His entire body was in pain, and he felt like he was about to collapse. How can this be the power of a true lord rank? Although his cultivation is close to the late-stage true lord rank, his mental energy are unparalleled apart from sovereigns. The three-eyed saint was stunned. The difference in cultivation between the two wasn't big, but Yu Tianhao's unparalleled power suppressed his three-eyed divine light mercilessly. He was pushed back several hundred yards. The three-eyed saint barely managed to stabilize his body. His face was pale white as even his sacred eye bloodline was suppressed by some sort of mental energy. You're not my match, even when you're at your peak. Yu Tianhao took back his hand. It was obvious that he could tell that the three-eyed saint's yuan qi and eye bloodline power had been injured. There were even some hidden injuries that hadn't recovered. After all, Zhao Feng had fought with the three-eyed saint half a month ago, and the latter was heavily injured. Could it be that you've already activated the legendary unparalleled heaven battling bloodline? The three-eyed saint took a deep breath. Unparalleled heaven battling bloodline? I can only activate my unparalleled heaven battling bloodline if I meet an opponent stronger than me. You don't have the right. Yu Tianhao smiled proudly and left with the attitude of a victor. The three-eyed saint's heart shook, and his expression dimmed. All the humiliation, frustration, and anger in his heart disappeared. Yu Tianhao had an overwhelming advantage over him. He didn't have any anger left in him. Unlike Zhao Feng, Yu Tianhao was powerful, domineering, confident, and even conceited. He crushed everything with his first move without any preamble. As for Zhao Feng, even though he had an overwhelming advantage in eye bloodline power, he still had the attitude of humbly learning. In comparison, the three-eyed saint admired Yu Tianhao more. As for that Zhao Feng, what a vile plagiarist. Golden Sun Sacred City. Many experts watched Yu Tianhao's majestic and heroic figure as he floated into the distance, their hearts filled with shock. At this moment, everyone came to a realization. The three-eyed saint's era had indeed passed. This era belonged to two overwhelming prodigies. Yu Tianhao must have gone to challenge Zhao Feng. Two overwhelming prodigies that stood at the peak of dozens of generations. Who is the true king? The figures on the walls of Golden Sun Sacred City were filled with excitement and expectation. Jinyang Xingtian, I didn't expect your Azure Flower Continent to have such a terrifying genius. Even some of the peak true dragon geniuses of the Three Saints Palace are only at his level. A thick-eyebrowed youth appeared next to the three-eyed saint. The three-eyed saint didn't reply, which meant that he agreed. If we can recommend these two geniuses to the Three Saints Palace, it'll be a great contribution. The thick-eyebrowed youth continued with excitement. Recommend them to the Three Saints Palace? No. Definitely not. The three-eyed saint exclaimed. Jinyang Xingtian, this is a great opportunity. If there are rewards from the sect, you and I might be able to have new breakthroughs and opportunities. The thick-eyebrowed youth was slightly unhappy. Firstly, there's no way that Yu Tianhao will join the Three Saints Palace. The Yu family has a huge background in the outside world, and they've never sent any of their prodigies to the Three Saints Palace. If I'm not wrong, this Yu Tianhao is in a rush to challenge Zhao Feng because he's going to leave the Azure Flower Continent and head to a mysterious force that might surpass the Three Saints Palace. The three-eyed saint explained. So that's how it is. The thick-eyebrowed youth wasn't surprised. After all, the outside world was too big, and the azure flower continent was just a sesame seed. But this Xiao Feng definitely doesn't have this fortune. The thick-eyebrowed youth smiled. You can't do this. If that filthy thief joins the Three Saints' palace, I won't have the face to stand in the clan. The three-eyed saint almost cursed out loud. If Xiao Feng joined the Three Saints' palace, his sacred eye bloodline wouldn't even be worth mentioning. Everything would fall to Xiao Feng's halo. Several months later. Canopy Great Country, Iron Blood Religion Headquarters. Whoosh! A gust of wind and an arc of lightning flashed across the sky and landed in the headquarters. I'm back. A blue-haired youth let out a long breath. It was Xiao Feng. Thinking back to how he had talked to an elder of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion at such a close distance, he still felt fear. Luckily, he had confirmed that he wasn't being followed on the way back. Now that he had returned, he could relax. After all, there were sovereigns here. Chapter 523. Xiao Feng had returned earlier than Prince Jin and the other geniuses from the Great Country. At this moment in time, Jiang Sanfeng and Dai Yi hadn't returned yet. Just as Xiao Feng landed, Deputy Patriarch Tiamat rushed over. How was the tea party? Tiamat asked. Tiamat had introduced the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline to Xiao Feng in order to deal with the three-eyed saint. Not bad. A smile appeared on Xiao Feng's face as he told Tiamat what had happened. Hearing this, Tiamat was overjoyed. I didn't think that the title of the strongest eye bloodline would change because of you. Xiao Feng suddenly remembered that the head of the Golden Sun family had been killed by Elder Silence Kill and tried to kill him. Should he tell Tiamat about this? Right as Xiao Feng was hesitating, a voice sounded in their ears, Xiao Feng, Tiamat. Patriarch Hong. Xiao Feng's heart shook. He had almost forgotten about the true powerhouse of the Iron Blood religion this time. A while later. Xiao Feng and Tiamat met Patriarch Hong in the underground palace. Patriarch Hong sat on the bed with a red glow on his face. His aura was limitless. Every breath he took seemed to be the center of the heaven-earth Yuan Qi, and his aura was countless times stronger than that of the true Lord rank. Xiao Feng, I didn't think that you would defeat the three-eyed saint and obtain the title of the strongest eye bloodline on the continent. Patriarch Hong had a satisfied expression. The Patriarch and Deputy Patriarch were full of praises for Xiao Feng. It could be said that the youth standing in front of them was the prodigy with the strongest bloodline on the continent. Even the 10 great sects of the continent would devote all of their resources to nurture such a genius. Patriarch Hong, do you have any other orders? Xiao Feng inspected Patriarch Hong and found that his injuries had healed. His Yuan Qi should have mostly recovered. Once this sovereign appeared, there wouldn't be a second voice in the Canopy Great Country. I've recovered most of my strength, and I'll go to the Sacred Alliance in a few months. Have you thought about what happened last time? Patriarch Hong laughed. What happened last time? Xiao Feng paused, but he soon remembered. Xiao Feng, joining the Three Saints' Palace will be of great help to you and the Iron Blood religion. You must understand that the ruler of this region, including the Azure Flower Continent and the nearby islands, is the Three Saints' Temple. Tiamat warned. Hearing this, Xiao Feng began to hesitate and struggle. Patriarch Hong and Tiamat looked at each other. Xiao Feng, do you have something you can't say? Xiao Feng asked. Xiao Feng didn't hide anything and told him about Lu Qinxin. Hearing Xiao Feng's explanation, Patriarch Hong and Tiamat were stunned. In theory, Lu Qinxin was Xiao Feng's fiancé. He wanted to enter the outside world in the future to find the Sky Saint Qin inheritance. This explanation made sense. This Xiao Feng is very emotional. Patriarch Hong and Tiamat looked at each other and sighed. In reality, there was another reason why Xiao Feng couldn't decide whether or not to join the Three Saints' Palace, and that was because of Xiao Yufei and the Purple Saint ruins. Moreover, after the 6 warlock divine sages' guidance, Zhao Feng developed some interest in the legendary 8 great god eyes. All of this meant that Zhao Feng couldn't stay in any sect and would be subjected to many restrictions. Zhao Feng, we won't interfere with your decision. However, you need to be strong enough before entering the outside world. You need to reach the half-step origin core realm before you can leave. Patriarch Hong said. Thank you, Patriarch. Zhao Feng was filled with gratitude and quickly thanked him. Patriarch Hong and Tiamat didn't want Zhao Feng to go to the outside world. On the contrary, staying in a 2-star sect was more suitable for his growth. However, they all respected Zhao Feng's decision. An overwhelming prodigy that had surpassed dozens of generations might walk a different path. Next, Patriarch Hong taught Zhao Feng some general knowledge about the outside world. In theory, those at the True Lord rank can cross the limitless ocean and walk in the outside world. This is the lowest requirement. Patriarch Hong paused. True Lord rank? Zhao Feng's heart moved. In the entire Canopy Great Country, only a few people had reached the True Lord rank. Normal strong countries only had 1 or 2. This also meant that the horizons of the vast majority of living beings were limited. Furthermore, the True Lord rank was the lowest requirement. It's dangerous for normal True Lord ranks to walk in the outside world. The danger will decrease after reaching the half-step origin core realm. As for sovereigns who have reached the primal core realm, there are relatively few in the outer realms. They are considered experts, so you can go to the outer realms without worry. Patriarch Hong explained. In reality, the sovereigns of the continent often went to other islands. However, those at the True Lord rank wouldn't easily go unless they had a sovereign. For example, Patriarch Hong would often go to the islands around the Azure Flower continent when he was at his peak. 3 days later, Patriarch Hong came out of seclusion and shocked the world with his cultivation at the origin core realm. Half a month later, this news shook the entire Canopy Great Country. The upper echelon of every force was stunned. On a certain day, Patriarch Hong personally came to the Imperials to visit the Emperor, Empress Qin, and the Grand Elder of the Imperials. The Imperials were silent. No one objected. From today onwards, Patriarch Hong is the imperial teacher of our country. The Iron Blood religion is the #1 religion. Going against the Iron Blood religion is the same as going against the Imperials. The Emperor helplessly made this decision. Once a sovereign appeared, the Imperial, 3 sects, and 4 families of the Canopy Great Country didn't say anything else. Without a doubt, the Iron Blood religion had become the #1 force in the Great Country. Even before Patriarch Hong came out of seclusion, Zhao Feng and Tiamat, the 2 deputy patriarchs, were enough to suppress the Imperials. Now that they had a sovereign, the Iron Blood religion wasn't far from becoming a 1-star sect. They were only lacking in one other aspect. To all of this, Zhao Feng didn't care. 10 days ago, he had left the main headquarters of the Iron Blood religion and found a secret place to cultivate. Half a month after Patriarch Hong came out of seclusion. So, a bright light descended from the sky and flew towards the main headquarters of the Iron Blood religion. The undefeatable aura caused the headquarters of the Iron Blood religion to panic. Even Deputy Sect Master Tiamat felt quite a bit of pressure. Who's there? The experts of the Iron Blood religion reacted and formed a line as they coldly looked at the black-haired youth in the sky. Yu Tianhao! Jiang Sanfeng exclaimed. A few people recognized the newcomer. The black-haired youth was Yu Tianhao, who had rushed over from Golden Sun's sacred city. Is Zhao Feng here? Yu Tianhao's expression was emotionless as his eyes scanned across. Everyone's heart seemed to be struck and couldn't face it. Even someone as strong as blood-hair-colored Tiamat couldn't block the powerful intent in Yu Tianhao's eyes. This Yu Tianhao is much stronger than I expected. Tiamat was secretly surprised. Yu Tianhao, you've come at the wrong time. Deputy Patriarch Zhao left 10 days ago and apparently found a quiet place to cultivate. Jiang Sanfeng braced himself. When will he come back? Yu Tianhao decided to wait for a while in the Iron Blood religion. If he missed this chance, he probably wouldn't have another chance to fight with Zhao Feng in the future. Yu Tianhao. You're Yu Xingchen's son. An old smiling voice sounded in Yu Tianhao's mind. Sovereign. Yu Tianhao's expression became solemn as he thought for a while and said, Junior Tianhao greets Senior Hong. In the Azure Flower Continent. There were only a few sovereigns at the Origin Core realm and they all knew each other. The Iron Blood religion had sovereigns, so Yu Tianhao calmed himself down and waited quietly. Underground Palace. Brother Hong, this Yu Tianhao doesn't seem to have good intentions. In the entire continent, only he can shake Zhao Feng's position. This is probably the fight for the #1 genius of the continent. Tianma said worriedly. Patriarch Hong's expression was solemn as he nodded his head. Yu Tianhao's father is extremely strong amongst the sovereigns, and even the Three Saints Palace is wary of the Yu family's background. Brother Hong, who do you think will win between Yu Tianhao and Zhao Feng? Tianma asked out of concern. If Yu Tianhao doesn't activate his unparalleled heaven battling bloodline, he only has a 40% chance of winning against Zhao Feng. After all, Zhao Feng's soul, cultivation, and I bloodline are all extremely strong. However, if Yu Tianhao activates the legendary unparalleled heaven battling bloodline, his chance of winning will be 50 to 60%. Patriarch Hong said. Being a sovereign at the Origin Core realm, Patriarch Hong's senses were extremely strong. If this wasn't the case, he wouldn't have given Zhao Feng the Ball of Ice Soul and the Dark Eye incomplete page. In the blink of an eye. Another dozen or so days passed. He, Patriarch Hong, how have you been? An old Taoist in a white robe with a sage-like demeanor floated over. The moment he descended, all the primal chi in the world strangely froze. Then, like a gentle breeze in spring water, it flowed towards the white-robed old Taoist. Only existences at the true mystic rank and above could sense a bit of these changes. Iron Blood Religion Headquarters, in a certain guest room. Sovereign, another one has appeared. Yu Tianhao's expression changed. Ha ha ha. Dao Sovereign Baiyun. It's been several hundred years and you have the time to come visit me? A red-haired elder with thick eyebrows flashed out and greeted the white-robed Taoist. It was Patriarch Hong. This Dao Sovereign Baiyun had once appeared at the Sacred True Dragon Gathering. Dao Sovereign Baiyun. Grand Elder of the Heavenly Yuan clan. A small number of people within the Iron Blood religion, such as Tianma, recognized Dao Sovereign Baiyun. Soon. Dao Sovereign Baiyun and Patriarch Hong sat down in a side hall with Deputy Patriarch Tianma next to them. Dao Sovereign Baiyun, you didn't just come to the Iron Blood religion, right? Patriarch Hong's eyes flashed. The two were both primal core venerates. In the past, they only knew each other but were not close. I came this time to see Zhao Feng. Dao Sovereign Baiyun said straightforwardly. See Zhao Feng. Patriarch Hong and the Deputy Patriarch looked at each other and thought, why is there another one? Yu Tianhao hadn't left the Iron Blood religion yet? Now, another venerable one had arrived. Tianma thought for a while and knew why Dao Sovereign Baiyun had come. As expected. Back at the Sacred True Dragon Gathering, Zhao Feng and my disciple Zhao Yufei entered an unknown inheritance. Dao Sovereign Baiyun soon said his intentions. All of this was within reason. Dao Sovereign Baiyun wanted to personally ask Zhao Feng about Zhao Yufei's whereabouts. Zhao Feng has returned safely, but there's no news of my disciple. Although Tian Yi told me some things, I'm still suspicious. Dao Sovereign Baiyun's voice became colder as his powerful spiritual sense spread across the headquarters of the Iron Blood religion. Chapter 524. In just a few breaths. The headquarters of the Iron Blood religion was scanned by Dao's sovereign Baiyun's spiritual sense. Within the headquarters, the members of the Iron Blood religion all felt an obscure yet enormous mental energy. They felt as if they were being suppressed by a vast ocean and that their bodies and minds were being penetrated. That invisible spiritual pressure made one feel flustered and suffocated, making it difficult to breathe. This was because Dao's sovereign Baiyun was trying his best to find Xiao Feng's location. If he used his full strength, some of the weaker true spirit realms would probably spit out blood on the spot. Senior Dao sovereign, Xiao Feng really isn't in the headquarters. He went out to cultivate a few days ago and no one knows where he went. Tianma sighed and shook his head. He could still remember the scene of the little thieving cat on Xiao Feng's shoulder throwing the old bronze coins into the air. However, Dao's sovereign Baiyun obviously didn't believe it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have spread his spiritual sense across the entire headquarters. Behind Dao's sovereign Baiyun is the Heavenly Yuan clan, one of the 10 great clans. Patriarch Hang's heart jumped and he broke out in cold sweat for Xiao Feng. Dao's sovereign Baiyun had a high status and prestige among the sovereigns of the continent. He was also very experienced. Even Patriarch Hang might not be Dao's sovereign Baiyun's match at his peak. Furthermore, Patriarch Hang hadn't fully recovered yet. Putting aside the number of sovereigns, the Heavenly Yuan clan was one of the 10 great clans and had reached the threshold of a one-star clan. Their foundation far surpassed the Iron Blood religion. That brat really isn't here. Dao's sovereign Baiyun took back his spiritual sense and apologized to Patriarch Hang. He had controlled himself in the search just then and didn't release his sovereign aura because he was wary of Patriarch Hang. In the search, Dao's sovereign Baiyun also found the overwhelming prodigy Yu Tianhao. Tianhao, you're also here. Dao's sovereign Baiyun's voice was friendly and he had a faint smile on his face. Shua. Yu Tianhao stepped into the side hall. His speed had surpassed normal half-step origin core realms. Hehe, so you're also here to find Xiao Feng? After asking, Dao Master Baiyun was shocked when he got the answer. That's right, but I can't wait too long. Yu Tianhao answered. Dao Master Baiyun couldn't help but think, Yu Tianhao's father, Yu Xingqian, is one of the strongest venerables on the continent. Moreover, the Yu family's background was not simple at all. With Yu Tianhao's talent, it would be extremely easy for him to enter the Three Saints' Palace. He could have done it 10 years ago. However, Yu Tianhao had yet to join the Three Saints' Temple. In the blink of an eye, several months had passed. Canopy Great Country, transverse water bay in the depths of a rapidly flowing river stood several precipitous cliffs. The surroundings were verdant, but the air was steaming with water vapor, obstructing one's vision for several li. At the top of the cliff, in the center of the misty area, a blue-haired youth sat cross-legged. Buzz buzz, from time to time, deep blue electric arcs would appear in the surrounding mist. An invisible cold wind would linger in the surroundings like a sharp blade. The blue-haired youth didn't move at all. His body was surrounded by a layer of wind and lightning light patterns, which were deep green and translucent. Bang! Upon closer inspection, there were traces of faint purple aura within the dark green wind lightning, which took up about 1/10 of the original green wind lightning. As the faint purple aura moved, it gave off an aura of destruction. This aura of destruction caused the insects and beasts within several li to instinctively become uneasy. Just like before a great disaster, some insects and beasts would instinctively feel danger. As time passed, the wisps of purple aura seemed to have merged with the dark green wind and lightning. When a ball of lightning appeared in the blue-haired youth's palm, and a faint purple light could be seen at the center of it. In that instant, the aura of the original azure ball of wind lightning more than doubled. Although it seemed silent, it became deeper and a whirlpool appeared in the air. That destructive and tyrannical aura suddenly spread out, and everything within a 10-mile radius became deathly silent. Meow meow. A silver-gray cat appeared on the youth's shoulder, as if it had been disturbed. The intent of this purple wind lightning is indeed strong. One portion of this purple wind lightning is comparable to more than 10 portions of the original azure wind lightning. Excitement flashed in Zhao Feng's eyes. After leaving the Purple Saint ruins, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the wind lightning tablet had increased. According to logic, normally, one needed to be at the half-step origin core realm in order to comprehend and cultivate the purple wind lightning. However, Zhao Feng's source of mental energy was strong and his comprehension was extraordinary. He had already tried to comprehend the purple wind lightning before he reached the true lord rank. Now, Zhao Feng's soul was comparable to the origin core realm, and his mental energy level wasn't much different from the half-step origin core realm. Over the past several months, his comprehension of the purple wind lightning had increased greatly. When the ball of lightning in Zhao Feng's palm was faintly purple, and the outside was turning azure, the degree of fusion between the two was increasing. With the purple wind lightning as the core, the power of the azure wind lightning has more than doubled. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. He was very satisfied. One had to know that Zhao Feng didn't even use the purple wind lightning when fighting the three-eyed saint. He only used it when dodging the Forbidden Eye bloodline technique. In comparison, the purple wind lightning that Zhao Feng had comprehended was more than twice as strong as before. More importantly, after comprehending the purple wind lightning and merging it into his wind lightning energy core, his control over it became stronger. Shua! Zhao Feng waved his hand and the ball of lightning disappeared along with the purple aura. I've been cultivating for more than 2 months. I wonder what the situation is like in the Canopy Great Country after Patriarch Hong comes out. Zhao Feng finally remembered his position as the deputy patriarch. Meow meow. The little thieving cat stood on his shoulder and tossed a few copper coins into the air, causing them to jingle as it shook its head. You mean I should continue cultivating? Zhao Feng paused. To a certain extent, he had the little thieving cat to guide him when he went into seclusion. Zhao Feng believed most of the little thieving cat's ability to avoid danger. He thought that cultivating in seclusion in the Iron Blood religion might not be as effective as cultivating here due to the many things he had to do. Therefore, Zhao Feng listened to the little thieving cat's divination. And, with a sovereign like Patriarch Hong here, I don't need to worry about the Iron Blood religion. Zhao Feng closed his eyes again. For the next few days, he started to comprehend the Wind Lightning Inheritance's combat skills. 10 days later, Zhao Feng had reached a bottleneck in his comprehension of the Wind Lightning Inheritance. Meow meow. The little thieving cat threw the bronze coins and shook its head. Fine. He decided to go in a different direction and merged his consciousness into the Ice Imperial Spear. This time, he focused on his bloodline power and comprehension of the Ice Imperial Spear's profundities. 1 month later, Zhao Feng let out a long breath and came out of his comprehension. This time, when he came out of seclusion and opened his eyes, they flickered with divine light. He was filled with unprecedented confidence. This was the first time Zhao Feng had been in seclusion for 3 to 4 months. I've never been in seclusion for so long. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. It took him less than half a year to go from the 2nd rank to the 7th rank of the martial path. Meow meow. The little thieving cat threw the bronze coins and still didn't want Zhao Feng to return to the Iron Blood religion headquarters so quickly. I've reached a bottleneck in every aspect. There's no point in going into seclusion. Zhao Feng shook his head. 3 to 4 months was the longest he had ever been in seclusion. Furthermore, his comprehension of the Wind Lightning Stone Tablet, the Ice Imperial Spear, and his eye bloodline were all at a bottleneck. He wouldn't be able to break through in a short amount of time. Let's go. Zhao Feng's body was enveloped in a layer of lightning and he disappeared in a few streaks of azure and purple. Several days later, the headquarters of the Iron Blood religion. A streak of azure and violet light flashed through the clouds, exuding a terrifying destructive aura, and landed in front of a large hall. However, as soon as he landed, Zhao Feng felt that something was wrong. His heart suddenly jumped, and he felt a strong sense of uneasiness. Zhao Feng. If you didn't come back, I was going to leave. A battle-intent-filled voice sounded from the top of a hall. Zhao Feng glanced over and saw a black-haired youth sitting cross-legged in a large hall 100 yards away. Yu Tianhao. Zhao Feng was stunned. Why would Yu Tianhao appear here? Just as he was hesitating, the heaven-earth yuan qi in this area surged like a giant wave in the deep sea, surging with an invisible power that covered the sky and earth. Zhao Feng. I've been waiting for you for several months. A deep and cold voice came from a building in front of them. Shua. A white-robed Taoist appeared on top of the building in front of Zhao Feng. Sovereign Origin Core Realm. Zhao Feng's heart shook and his body froze. Every breath he took was harder than usual. May I ask, Senior? Zhao Feng felt that this white-robed Taoist was familiar. I'm Zhao Yufei's master, the Grand Elder of the Heavenly Essence Sect, Dao Sovereign Baiyun snorted. Yufei's master? Dao Sovereign Baiyun. Zhao Feng's body shook and he realized the purpose of this primal core realm supremacy. However, before Zhao Feng could speak, there was another ice-cold power that could freeze the world. It was comparable to Dao Sovereign Baiyun's. Hiss. Zhao Feng shivered and felt like his blood was being frozen. Another primal core realm supremacy. Who was it? Zhao Feng felt that the aura in the cold power was also familiar. She looked up and was startled by what she saw. In the clouds, there was a white-robed beauty holding an ice scepter and wearing an ice crown. She looked like an ice queen descending from the sky. Ice Queen. Zhao Feng took in a cold breath as he recognized the newcomer's identity. This white-robed beauty wearing the Phoenix King Ice Crown was the leader of the Extreme North Mystic Ice Palace. She had appeared at the Northern Star Tower and the Sacred Alliance. Zhao Feng was puzzled when he saw the Mystic Ice Queen. Zhao Feng could guess why Dao Sovereign Baiyun had come all this way to find him. However, the only connection he had with the Ice Queen was her disciple, Goddess Bing Wei. However, the enmity between Zhao Feng and Goddess Bing Wei was between the younger generation and it wasn't anything big. Logically speaking, this wasn't enough for the Ice Queen, a sovereign at the Origin Core Realm, to come personally. So. A male and female appeared beside the Ice Queen. One was a golden-haired youth and the other was an icy beauty. Three-eyed saint. Goddess Bing Wei. Zhao Feng's pupils contracted. He had a guess when he saw the three-eyed saint. Zhao Feng. Does my father's death have anything to do with you? The three-eyed saint's voice was cold and forceful. Chapter 525. At this moment in time, Zhao Feng could be said to be facing enemies from all sides. None of the figures floating or sitting around him were easy to deal with. Above him was the Mystic Ice Queen, an Origin Core Realm sovereign. To her left and right were the three-eyed saint and Goddess Bing Wei. Opposite him was the Grand Elder of the Heavenly Yuan clan, Dao Sovereign Baiyun. Behind him was Yu Tianhao, who was sitting cross-legged in the hall, waiting for the battle. Any one of these people could dominate the cloud area. Dao Sovereign Baiyun and the Mystic Ice Queen stood at the peak of the continent. Zhao Feng, what kind of people did you offend? Patriarch Hong and Tiamat broke out in cold sweat for Zhao Feng, and their eyes were filled with worry. This sudden series of changes caused Zhao Feng to freeze. Zhao Feng. Is my father's death related to you? The three-eyed saint's question was very sudden. The three-eyed saint's voice was filled with hatred and killing intent. The golden sun in his third eye was burning with rage. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be surprised. From the three-eyed saint's tone, it seemed like he had some sort of proof. Otherwise, he wouldn't have questioned Xiao Feng right away. Three-eyed saint, don't slander me. You need to prove it. Jiang Sanfeng shouted coldly from the Iron Blood religion. Tiamat smiled faintly. Three-eyed saint, the Canopy Great Country still hasn't received any news of your father's death. How can it be related to Xiao Feng? Hearing this, the other figures of the Iron Blood religion all agreed. Many people were baffled by this. The Golden Sun family was located in the Middle Continent, and the head of the family was an expert of the older generation. On the other hand, Xiao Feng was only a youth in his 20s. There was no enmity between the two of them. In fact, they had never even met before. They were completely unrelated. Proof. There were many witnesses near Golden Sun's sacred city who saw my father and the Grand Elder leave with Xiao Feng. After that, father and the Great Elder never came back. The three-eyed saint's three eyes locked onto Xiao Feng and didn't move away for even a second. Three-eyed saint, how did you confirm father's death? Cult leader Hong questioned. Everyone's eyes lit up. This was a crucial point. At that time, my I bloodline had a bad feeling. According to the records of the Golden Sun family, only those who are related to me by blood and have the sacred I bloodline will be able to sense this. The three-eyed saint's tone became sorrowful. There was a moment of silence. With Dao Sovereign Baiyun and Patriarch Hong's experience, they could naturally tell what the three-eyed saint's bloodline was. The Golden Sun family was one of the most powerful families with inherited bloodlines in the Tianwu continent. Their bloodline system was extremely mature, and this feeling wasn't the first or second time in history. Xiao Feng did not doubt this at all. His god's spiritual eye had all sorts of magical sensing abilities, especially the sense of danger. Furthermore, the head of the Golden Sun family and the three-eyed saint were father and son, and they both had the sacred eye bloodline. However, at that time, I lost to Xiao Feng and was heavily injured, so I didn't have time to investigate this feeling. However, in the following month, father disappeared. After searching everywhere, I finally found a wisp of my father's bloodline aura in a forest. Only the Golden Sun family can sense this aura. The three-eyed saint took a deep breath. His eyes were bloodshot as he coldly stared at Xiao Feng. It was as if he was certain that Xiao Feng was the culprit, or at the very least, that Xiao Feng was responsible. Everyone looked at each other in disbelief. Firstly, Xiao Feng wasn't present at that time, and he left without saying goodbye to his companions. Goddess Bing Wei's eyes flashed coldly as she scanned over Jiang Sanfeng and Dai Yi. Jiang Sanfeng and Dai Ye's hearts trembled. Indeed, Xiao Feng's sudden departure was very strange. Secondly, there were witnesses who saw the head of the Golden Sun family chase after Xiao Feng. Goddess Bing Wei raised her hand. Shua shua. 3 figures jumped out from the corner, 2 males and 1 female. One of them was at the true mystic rank while the other 2 were at the true human rank. That's right, we saw the head of the family and an elder wearing a straw hat follow Xiao Feng. The 3 all thought it was Xiao Feng. Instantly, Xiao Feng, who stood in the middle, faced some questioning gazes. All the signs and evidence pointed to Xiao Feng being the cause of the head of the Golden Sun family's death. Xiao Feng. Even if you deny it, why did you leave the group? What did you do alone? What happened after the head of the Golden Sun family and the 2 seniors chased after you? Goddess Bing Wei asked a series of questions in an aggressive manner. Xiao Feng remained expressionless and didn't speak. Dao Sovereign Baiyun, you and I can both be witnesses. This Xiao Feng is too suspicious. If the Iron Blood religion doesn't give us a reasonable explanation, we can take him down together and interrogate him. The Mystic Ice Queen floated above his head and smiled at Dao's Sovereign Baiyun. Patriarch Hong and Tiamat's hearts jumped as they knew things weren't good. This Mystic Ice Queen was very powerful. She was a sovereign and might not be able to force Xiao Feng to do anything. But now she was giving Dao's sovereign Baiyun an olive branch. If the two teamed up and wanted to force Xiaofeng, even Patriarch Hong wouldn't be able to stop them. Patriarch Hong, should you give us an explanation for the death of the head of the Golden Sun family and the whereabouts of my disciple? Dao's sovereign Baiyun didn't immediately say anything and glanced at Patriarch Hong. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. This Dao's sovereign Baiyun wasn't easy to deal with either. Although he didn't immediately team up with the Mystic Ice Queen, he was obviously using the situation to pressure the Iron Blood religion. At this moment, facing the pressure of the two sovereigns, Patriarch Hong and Tiamat felt bitter and felt pressured. The Iron Blood religion had just revived and was now facing such danger. One had to know. The Mystic Ice Palace and the Heavenly Yuan sect were both among the top 10 sects of the continent. Xiaofeng, I believe you're not the murderer and this has nothing to do with you. If they purposely make things difficult for us, the Iron Blood religion won't bow down to anyone. Patriarch Hong looked at Xiaofeng. Apparently, not only the other two sovereigns, but Patriarch Hong also wanted Xiaofeng to give an explanation. That's right. We believe you're not the murderer. The Iron Blood religion was united. Everyone believed in Xiaofeng, the deputy patriarch who had created a legend. These voices made Xiaofeng feel warm. However, he laughed, everyone, I haven't denied it yet. How can you be sure that I'm not the murderer and that this has nothing to do with me? Hearing this, everyone went silent. The members of the Iron Blood religion, Patriarch Hong, Tiamat and Jiang Sanfeng were dazed. Xiaofeng didn't deny it. There's no need to defend me. The death of the head of the Golden Sun family does have something to do with me. Uncharacteristically, Xiaofeng laughed. He admitted it. He actually admitted it. Everyone's mouths were wide open. The Mystic Ice Queen, the Three-Eyed Saint and Goddess Bing Wei were dazed. Their aggressive questioning was all to force Xiaofeng's mind and find more flaws so that they could find the truth. But in the end, Xiaofeng admitted it without hesitation. Xiaofeng. What are you? Tiamat panicked. Could it be that Xiaofeng was afraid of implicating the Iron Blood religion? What's going on? Patriarch Hong's expression changed. He suddenly felt like he couldn't see through Xiaofeng. Xiaofeng, how did my father die? Who's the murderer? Who's the accomplice? The Three-Eyed Saint's eyes turned red as he roared. At this moment, everyone's gazes landed on Xiaofeng. Accomplice? Xiaofeng snickered, I alone am enough to kill your father and the Golden Sun family. Why would I need an accomplice? What? Everyone's hearts shook as they looked at Xiaofeng in disbelief. Impossible. The Mystic Ice Queen smiled coldly and shook her head. Absolutely impossible. With my father's strength, even normal half-step origin core realms might not be his match. First Elder is unrivaled under the origin core realm. The Three-Eyed Saint shook his head. The peak experts present all knew how strong the head of the Golden Sun family and the Grass-Hatted Elder were. Even the Three-Eyed Saint didn't believe that Xiaofeng had killed the head of the Golden Sun family and the old man himself. They guessed that this matter might be related to Xiaofeng, but there must be someone else behind it. Xiaofeng, what reason do you have to kill the head of the Golden Sun family? Patriarch Hong sighed in his heart. Xiaofeng, even if you're the culprit, the Mystic Ice Queen won't be able to do anything to you without solid evidence. It's simple. The head of the Golden Sun family and the old man wanted to kill me, but I killed them instead. They can only blame themselves for not being skilled enough. Xiaofeng said. So that's how it is. So, you killed them in self-defense. Blood-Hair Tiamat yelled in realization. Killing in self-defense. The hearts of everyone in the Iron Blood religion shook. The expressions of the Mystic Ice Queen and company changed. If that was really the case, then it was completely reasonable for Xiaofeng to kill them in self-defense. If he didn't kill them, he would be killed. On the other hand, the Golden Sun family didn't have much of an excuse. After all, they were the ones who killed them first. Zhao Feng. Why would my father kill you for no reason? The three-eyed saint was enraged. Hee, do you even need to think about it? Zhao Feng smiled and revealed a knowing expression. The people present couldn't help but fall into deep thought and came to a sudden realization. Zhao Feng had defeated the three-eyed saint in the Golden Sun sacred city and obtained the title of the continent's #1 eye bloodline. This was the truth. Therefore, it was normal for the Jinyang family to act out of jealousy and hatred under the humiliation. That's right. Zhao Feng has no reason to kill the head of the Golden Sun family. On the contrary, the Golden Sun family wants Zhao Feng to die. Cult leader Hong threw his head back and laughed, his voice causing the void to tremble slightly. You're slandering me. What proof do you have? The three-eyed saint almost spat out blood. If Zhao Feng really did kill them in self-defense, then the Golden Sun family wouldn't be able to defend themselves. On top of that, the situation would also become a personal grudge between Zhao Feng and the three-eyed saint. If that was the case, no matter if it was the Mystic Ice Queen or Dao's sovereign Bai Yun, none of them could stand on the basis of justice and take revenge for him. At the very least, Dao's sovereign Bai Yun wouldn't stand on their side. Proof. Didn't the three witnesses personally see the head of the Golden Sun family chase me? Zhao Feng pointed at the three witnesses that the three-eyed saint had brought with him with mockery. Arg! The faces of the three witnesses instantly turned gray. Just then, they had testified that the head of the Golden Sun family and Dao's sovereign Bai Yun had chased after Zhao Feng. Three-eyed saint, if you want to take revenge for your father, you can challenge me now. Chapter 526. Three-eyed saint, if you want to take revenge for your father, you can challenge me now. Zhao Feng teased. What he meant was that he was the one who killed your father. If you have the ability, come and kill me. You dash. The three-eyed saint trembled in anger and his third eye twitched. He almost exploded on the spot. Don't be rash. Goddess Bing Wei gritted her teeth and pulled the three-eyed saint back. In reality, her hatred for Zhao Feng wasn't any less than the three-eyed saint's. However, she knew that the three-eyed saint wasn't Zhao Feng's match. Even if the two of them teamed up, they might not have a chance of winning. What big words! The Mystic Ice Queen snickered coldly in the air as her mental energy aura of the Origin Core realm pressed down. In that instant, the upper echelon of the Iron Blood religion felt their blood freeze and they lost the ability to breathe. Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind. He raised his head and looked coldly at the Mystic Ice Queen. After 3 to 4 months of seclusion, Zhao Feng's strength had increased by leaps and bounds. Although he wasn't a match for an Origin Core realm, he wasn't completely helpless. Facing the Origin Core realm's mental energy pressure, Zhao Feng didn't move and wasn't affected much. When did this brat's soul become so strong? Daoist Bai Yun was secretly surprised. The Mystic Ice Queen obviously realized this as well. Zhao Feng's soul power was unbelievably strong and didn't fear the Origin Core realm's mental energy pressure. The soul was the power of the soul. This power was the source of all consciousness and was extremely hard to raise. Normally, the higher one's mental energy level was, the faster one's soul power would increase. At the same time, the stronger one's soul power was, the stronger one's mental energy level would be. Therefore, the power of the soul wasn't the same as the mental energy level. On the other hand, Zhao Feng was only at the true lord rank, but his soul power was comparable to a Origin Core realm. Zhao Feng didn't have such a terrifying soul power at the sacred True Dragon Gathering. Xian Ice Queen's heart moved. After coming out of that mysterious unknown inheritance, Zhao Feng's soul strength and cultivation had reached a height that ordinary geniuses wouldn't be able to reach in 100 years. Thinking of this, The Mystic Ice Queen's eyes were filled with a hint of heat. In fact, one of the reasons she came to the Iron Blood religion was to stand up for the three-eyed saint and her disciple. What truly tempted her was the unknown inheritance. Whoosh! Suddenly, a scarlet-red figure radiating the aura of an Origin Core sovereign appeared between the Mystic Ice Queen and Zhao Feng. It was Cult Master Hong. Black Ice Queen. Cult Master Hong said indifferently, "You're a venerable of the older generation. Are you going to interfere in the feud between Zhao Feng and the Three-Eyed Saint?" Zhao Feng only killed the head of the Golden Sun family in self-defense. Since when did the Mystic Ice Palace become unable to differentiate between good and evil? This Patriarch Hong has indeed recovered his strength. Xian Ice Queen's expression changed slightly. Even without that bullshit morality, Patriarch Hong would protect Zhao Feng at all costs. There weren't many geniuses like Zhao Feng in the entire continent. If it was the Heavenly Yuan sect or the Mystic Ice Palace, they would do the same. I just feel that there's something fishy. Does that Zhao Feng really have the ability to kill the head of the Golden Sun family and the Three-Eyed Saint? Furthermore, Sheng is Bing Wei's fiancé. Why can't I stand up for him? The Mystic Ice Queen's eyes twinkled as a faint smile appeared on her face. Goddess Bing Wei's fiancé. Some of the people present could not help but be startled. Although Goddess Bing Wei's excuse was reasonable, it was a bit forced. After all, the head of the Golden Sun family had killed Zhao Feng first. Queen, are you doubting my abilities? If you don't believe me, you can send 2 half-step Origin Core realms from the Mystic Ice Palace and let me try killing them. Zhao Feng licked his lips as if he wanted to give it a try. Hearing this, the crowd broke into an uproar. Zhao Feng's arrogant tone could be said to be disrespectful and provocative towards sovereigns. Most people were shocked and doubtful. With the strength that Zhao Feng had displayed, they believed that it was possible for him to beat a normal half-step Origin Core realm. However, if he killed 2 half-step Origin Core realms, that would be shocking. Where does this brat get his confidence from? Can he really kill 2 half-step Origin Core realms? Zhao Feng's confidence made those on the Mystic Ice Queen's side speechless. If you don't believe me, you can try. Zhao Feng wasn't afraid of challenges and tests. However, even forces like the Mystic Ice Palace and Heavenly Yuan sect weren't willing to play around with the lives of 2 half-step Origin Core realms. Alright everyone, Zhao Feng is indeed the killer of the Golden Sun family's head, but this is a personal grudge between him and the Golden Sun family. If anyone tries to interfere, I won't stand by. Patriarch Hong's voice sounded. The Mystic Ice Queen's expression flickered, but she soon thought of a plan and looked at Dao's Sovereign Baiyun. Dao's Sovereign Baiyun, you and I both need to interrogate Zhao Feng. Since we have the same goal, why don't we team up and force Patriarch Hong to capture Zhao Feng? The two looked at each other and started to communicate through spiritual sense. Dao's Sovereign Baiyun looked deeply at the Mystic Ice Queen, but he didn't reply immediately. Now that the truth had been revealed, the Mystic Ice Queen still wanted to question Zhao Feng. Her intentions could be seen. Even some venerables would be interested in the mysterious and powerful, unknown inheritance. It was obvious that the Mystic Ice Queen had ulterior motives. Patriarch Hong and the Mystic Ice Queen looked at each other and communicated through spiritual sense. This didn't escape Patriarch Hong, Tiamat, and company. This Mystic Ice Queen doesn't come with good intentions. Patriarch Hong's heart jumped. A few breaths later, Dao's Sovereign Baiyun and the Mystic Ice Queen looked at each other and their figures flickered. Shua! The two sovereigns attacked Zhao Feng and Patriarch Hong. Dao's Sovereign Baiyun, what is the meaning of this? Patriarch Hong's expression changed. Dao's Sovereign Baiyun's eyes were calm as he smiled. I just want to know about Yufei's situation from Zhao Feng. I have no ill intentions. The Mystic Ice Queen's mouth turned cold. She was helping Dao's Sovereign Baiyun unconditionally. How could he reject her? One was the Iron Blood sect that had just started to rise, the other was the Mystic Ice Palace. Dao Sovereign Baiyun obviously didn't want to offend the latter. Furthermore, the Mystic Ice Queen and Dao Sovereign Baiyun both wanted to interrogate Zhao Feng. This situation made the higher-ups of the Iron Blood sect feel like they were facing a great enemy. Patriarch Hong and the Deputy Patriarch of the Iron Blood sect were anxious. Facing two sovereigns at the same time was probably beyond the Iron Blood sect's limit. But Zhao Feng, the person in question, was not the slightest bit panicked. At this moment, an indifferent and powerful voice sounded, "No one can interfere with the battle between me and Zhao Feng." The voice came from a cold, black-haired youth in the hall. Yu Tianhao. Everyone was dazed. Unknowingly, they had almost forgotten about this person who was on the same level as Zhao Feng. Schwa. Yu Tianhao stepped forward and arrived next to Zhao Feng. Yu Tianhao, what are you? Zhao Feng didn't understand. This was his personal matter, why should Yu Tianhao interfere? Before the battle, I won't allow you to be hurt. Whoever wants to be enemies with Zhao Feng will have to go through me first. Yu Tianhao and Zhao Feng stood side by side. Facing the two sovereigns, Yu Tianhao wasn't scared at all. There was excitement in his eyes and the blood in his body seemed to be burning, releasing a powerful battle intent. That formless battle intent gave rise to a spiritual will that looked down on everything, surpassing the shackles of cultivation. At that moment, the minds of the two venerable ones were slightly shaken. Putting aside his cultivation base and conception, Yu Tianhao's willpower, which was formed by his fighting spirit, could even reach the supremacy realm. So terrifying. Could this be the legendary unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline of the Yu family? Wariness appeared in the eyes of the two sovereigns. The unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline within Yu Tianhao's body was definitely a forbidden legend. The mental energy contained within it even shocked sovereigns. More importantly, the two sovereigns were wary of Yu Tianhao's father, Yu Xingqian, and the Yu family's background. Yu Tianhao, I don't mind if you interfere, but this is my personal business. But this is my personal matter, how can I let you take the lead alone? Zhao Feng's voice was filled with confidence as he slowly stepped forward. In that instant, the god's spiritual eye opened, and waves of blue-eye bloodline aura spread across the mental energy dimension. A powerful surge of soul power surged from Zhao Feng's body and connected with the god's spiritual eye. How is this possible? Such powerful eye bloodline power. The three-eyed saint's sacred eye trembled in fear, and he felt like he couldn't breathe. Even the hearts of the two martial highnesses skipped a beat, leaving them in a daze. Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power had reached the level where he could try to break through to the origin core realm. When had such a monstrous genius ever appeared in the Azure Flower continent? At this moment, Yu Tianhao's mental energy intent and Zhao Feng's terrifying eye bloodline power formed a force that shocked even sovereigns. These two auras had both reached the level where they could break through to the origin core realm. Pang! Pang! Everyone below the primal core realm felt their souls shake. This was insane. The two most dazzling heaven's chosen kings of the current era would actually join forces and fight side by side. Their opponent wasn't a true lord rank or a half-step origin core realm, but a sovereign who stood at the peak of the continent. Your suggestion isn't bad. My bloodline seems to be burning. Excitement appeared on Yu Tianhao's face. No matter how arrogant he was, he knew that his chances of winning against a sovereign were slim. However, if he teamed up with Zhao Feng, anything was possible. Instantly, the situation changed. Yu Tianhao, who was originally challenging Zhao Feng, suddenly teamed up with his opponent. The two stood back to back with Patriarch Hong. Patriarch Hong faced the Mystic Ice Queen, while Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao faced Dao's Sovereign Baiyun. Maybe they really can do it. Cult leader Hong felt an indomitable will to press forward and look down on everything from the two heavens chosen ones. The combined confidence and aura of the two overwhelming prodigies seemed to be able to suppress even sovereigns. The three sovereigns felt like they had aged when facing the two overwhelming prodigies. This kind of hot-blooded fighting spirit was something they couldn't have. It was because of this. Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao were the two overwhelming prodigies, but the sovereigns could only look up to them when they were young. Chapter 527. In the Air. Dao Sovereign Baiyun and the Mystic Ice Queen were dazed. No one doubted that the two overwhelming prodigies could create a miracle if they teamed up. The mental energy that had merged into one and was not afraid of any challenge even caused the hearts of the three martial highnesses to tremble slightly. The two overwhelming prodigies teaming up might actually be able to challenge a sovereign. The blood-haired Tiamat had a misconception. Even though logic told him that the chance of winning against a sovereign was small, Patriarch Hong's eyes twinkled. Patriarch Hong's eyes twinkled, and his heart was filled with hot-bloodedness. He seemed to find the shadow of himself in Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao. However, even when he was younger, he didn't have the courage of Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao. Challenging a sovereign. At first, cult leader Hong was also startled by the behavior of the two men. These two people were too daring. But then, Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao's battle intent had reached a level where they could fight against sovereigns, which shocked him. Being a sovereign, Patriarch Hong knew the difference between the true lord rank and the origin core realm. This could be seen from how Elder Silence Kill had killed the head of the Golden Sun family and First Elder as easily as cutting vegetables. However, Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao were the overwhelming prodigies of dozens of eras and were the embodiment of miracles. Although logic didn't think it was possible, Patriarch Hong had a sense of expectation and confidence in the two. The two of you need to think this through. Cult leader Hong spoke slowly with a profound meaning in his words. Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao's determination was firm and they weren't moved. However, Dao Sovereign Baiyun and the Mystic Ice Queen's expressions changed. So, Patriarch Hong's words were directed at the two sovereigns. The expressions of the two sovereigns became solemn and didn't dare to underestimate Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao. Just like Patriarch Hong, they didn't believe that the two overwhelming prodigies could fight against a sovereign. However, the mental energy intent and eye bloodline power of the two overwhelming prodigies swept across the hearts of the sovereigns. The hearts of the two sovereigns couldn't help but waver. Maybe they really could do it. Standing in front of them were the prodigies of dozens of eras. They themselves were miracles. Even someone as powerful as a Venerable One dared not doubt the unseen power of this era. Zhao Feng, I've long heard that you and Yufei are childhood sweethearts. Is there a need for us to fight to the point where we can't get along? Dao Master Baiyun let out a bitter sigh. The aura of the martial highness realm that was emitted from his body instantly dissipated. The people of the Iron Blood religion let out a breath, but at the same time, they were confused. Cult leader Hong and Tiamat looked at each other, the corners of their mouths curled into a smile. At this moment, even someone as powerful as the Venerable One made a small concession. Daoist Baiyun actually backed down, the Mystic Ice Queen gritted her teeth. However, in the face of the two heavens chosen ones of the present age who were teaming up side by side, that kind of fighting spirit that could destroy everything, made her want to retreat. First, on the spiritual level, the aura of the two kings of the prodigies seemed to be able to suppress the Venerable One. Secondly, no one wanted to be enemies with two king of prodigies at the same time. You should know. Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao's achievements had surpassed the Scarlet Moon Religion Patriarch and Sword Saint Yi Wuxie when they were young. If there were no accidents, they would be the future kings of the continent. If they won. As the old sovereigns that stood at the peak of the continent, their faces weren't bright. Furthermore, they might become enemies with the two king of prodigies. If they lost, or if they fought to a draw. This was the situation that the two sovereigns didn't dare to face. Furthermore, they felt that it was possible. In other words, No matter if they won or lost, it would only be bad for the two sovereigns. Under such circumstances, it was no wonder that Dao Master Bai Yun would give up at the last minute. Senior Bai Yun, if you're sincere about Yufei and the unknown inheritance, we can talk about it in private. Zhao Feng slowly retracted his eye bloodline power and became more polite. Before this, the reason why he didn't talk to Dao Master Bai Yun was mainly because of the latter's arrogance. Dao Master Bai Yun came to the Iron Blood religion with an overbearing and condescending aura. Facing that questioning attitude, Zhao Feng wouldn't give him the cold shoulder. However, at this moment, Dao Master Bai Yun's heart was shaken by the fighting spirit of the two heavens favorites. He was finally willing to put down his venerable attitude and sincerely talk to them. Sure, I also want to meet the person that Yufei admires. Dao Master Bai Yun smiled and nodded his head. Seeing Zhao Feng and Dao Master Bai Yun reach an agreement, the expression of the Mystic Ice Queen changed. From the situation, it seemed that Zhao Feng and Dao Master Bai Yun wanted to talk privately and exclude the Mystic Ice Queen. Dao Master Bai Yun, do you really believe this brat's words? In front of great benefits, even brothers and sisters will harm themselves. That Zhao Feng came out of the unknown inheritance, but your disciple didn't. Who can be sure that it wasn't him? The Mystic Ice Queen suddenly laughed. What do you mean? Dao Master Bai Yun's expression became solemn and he was slightly unhappy. I'm just worried that you'll be tricked by this brat's words. I believe that even Patriarch Hong will be interested in the unknown inheritance. There's some secret that you can't let us know. The Mystic Ice Queen's tone was slightly harsh. The reason why she teamed up with Dao Master Bai Yun was for the unknown inheritance. Now that she was being excluded, she was obviously angry. Hearing this, Dao Master Bai Yun couldn't help but hesitate. He didn't want to offend the Mystic Ice Queen and make enemies with the Mystic Ice Palace. Furthermore, he felt that the Mystic Ice Queen's words weren't completely unreasonable. I only want to talk to Senior Bai Yun in private. If Senior has any doubts, I'll only say 5 words and it might prove everything. Zhao Feng didn't back down. What 5 words? The gazes of the 3 sovereigns and the other experts all landed on Zhao Feng. 10,000. Ancient races, Zhao Feng said word by word. Wait. I believe you. Dao Master Bai Yun's expression changed and he interrupted Zhao Feng's words. 10,000 ancient races. Just as Zhao Feng said the 4th word, he was interrupted by Dao Master Bai Yun. The other 2 sovereigns and the other experts couldn't help but think, but they didn't really understand. Let's talk in private. Dao Master Bai Yun looked deeply at Zhao Feng. The secret of Zhao Yufei's bloodline coming from the 10,000 ancient races was only known by Dao Master Bai Yun and another sovereign. Even Zhao Yufei herself didn't know this secret. This had always been Dao Master Bai Yun's secret. This secret. He didn't dare say it because the bloodline inheritance of the 10,000 ancient races was too shocking. Even the Heavenly Yuan sect of the 10 great clans might not be able to handle the consequences. Shua. Zhao Feng and Dao Master Bai Yun flashed into a hall within the Iron Blood religion. This Zhao Feng is indeed interesting. I'm looking forward to fighting alongside him. Yu Tianhao watched as the 2 of them left. He took out a special token with a mysterious ripple. He glanced at it and sighed, unfortunately, I don't have much time left. Let's go. Mystic Ice Queen gritted her teeth. She was filled with hatred. However, she knew that Zhao Feng had already gained Dao Master Bai Yun's trust. It would be hard for her to get a share of the unknown inheritance. Take care. Cult leader Hong said in a neutral tone. Tiamat couldn't help letting out a long sigh of relief. This crisis had finally been resolved. One of the 2 sovereigns was appeased by Zhao Feng, while the other left in anger. Yu Tianhao, thank you for your help. Blood-Hair Tiamat smiled. He knew that the reason why Dao Master Bai Yun gave in was because of Yu Tianhao's powerful background. I'm not helping the Iron Blood religion, I'm just helping Zhao Feng. Yu Tianhao didn't hold back at all. The crimson-haired Tianma was speechless and immediately felt somewhat awkward. Haha, Patriarch Hong and company couldn't help but laugh. This Yu Tianhao really didn't give them any face. At this moment in time, Zhao Feng and Dao Master Bai Yun were discussing in the hall while the outer disciples were waiting. Cult Master Hong, Tianma, Yu Tianhao, and the others, including the Black Ice Queen, were all very interested and curious about the unknown inheritance and Zhao Yufei's whereabouts. However, Zhao Feng was only willing to discuss this secret with Dao Master Bai Yun in private. The hall was filled with a heavy aura. You're saying that because Yufei has the bloodline of the 10,000 ancient races, she was chosen to be the inheritor of the ruins? Dao Master Bai Yun was worried. Zhao Feng didn't go into too much detail about the Purple Saint ruins, but he gave a simple summary of the situation. Before leaving the ruins, Yufei had told Zhao Feng to tell Dao Master Bai Yun about her safety. When he knew that the 3 two-star sects had their eyes on the ruins, Dao Master Bai Yun's hair stood on end. I didn't think Yufei's situation would be so dangerous. Dao Master Bai Yun felt uneasy. I hope Senior can keep this information a secret. Don't tell anyone else. Otherwise, not to mention the Heavenly Branch sect, the entire Azure Flower domain might face a calamity. Zhao Feng emphasized. Dao Master Bai Yun's heart jumped. This secret was the same as Zhao Yufei's 10,000 ancient races bloodline. It couldn't be easily revealed. If Dao Master Bai Yun didn't want to bring trouble to the Heavenly Yuan sect, he would keep his mouth shut. Of course. There was also a big secret that Zhao Feng didn't say. That was the Purple Saint token. With the Purple Saint token, Zhao Feng could contact the Purple Saint ruins and even open another inheritance path to return to the Purple Saint ruins. A while later, the two walked out of the hall. Zhao Feng's expression was calm. On the other hand, Dao Master Bai Yun's emotions were unstable, as if he was surprised. Patriarch Hong, Tianma, and company clicked their tongues. They were naturally interested, but they didn't ask. On the same day, Dao Master Bai Yun didn't leave immediately. Instead, he took the initiative to talk to Patriarch Hong about the alliance between the Heavenly Yuan sect and the Iron Blood religion. Patriarch Hong was extremely surprised. The Heavenly Yuan sect, one of the top 10 great sects, had taken the initiative to form an alliance with the Iron Blood religion. At the same time, a battle between the top prodigies of the continent had begun. A few hundred miles away, in the clouds. Zhao Feng, time is running out. I'll leave the Azure Flower continent after this battle. I believe you won't disappoint me. Chapter 528. The headquarters of the Iron Blood religion. Near a mountain a few hundred miles away. Is it about to start? Jiang Sanfeng, Dai Yi, and company looked expectantly at the two figures on the mountain. Near the mountain, there were also the upper echelon of the Iron Blood religion, including the deputy patriarch, protectors, elders, and chapter leaders. Everyone's attention was completely focused. Their faces were filled with anticipation and faint excitement as they watched the battle that was about to begin above the clouds. Shwa! Shwa! Two powerful auras appeared at the foot of the mountain, and the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi in the area started to revolve around them. Patriarch. Senior Bai Yun. The spectators of the Iron Blood religion felt their hearts sink as they felt an irresistible force. The two people were Patriarch Hong and Dao Sovereign Bai Yun. The hearts of Jiang Sanfeng and company jumped. They didn't think that even sovereigns would come to watch the battle between the younger generation of prodigies. At this moment, the battle on the cloud was about to start. The first to attack was Yu Tianhao, and he used his signature move. Unparalleled in the world. A powerful mental energy intent appeared from Yu Tianhao's body. Boom! With the naked eye, one could only see an unparalleled and magnificent palm light, like a mysterious aurora that traversed the heavens and the earth. Wherever the palm passed, it seemed to become the center of nature, drawing in the boundless and domineering power of Yuan Qi, suppressing all things. That palm's intent realm was similar to that of a venerable realm cultivator's due to his strong willpower. The hearts of the spectators below trembled as if they couldn't breathe, and their faces turned red. As expected of Yu Tianhao. With this intent and cultivation, it's not impossible for him to reach the sovereign realm in 10 years. Patriarch Hong and Dao Sovereign Bai Yun's eyes lit up. As for Zhao Feng, who was facing this palm head-on, his body felt minuscule, like a mantis trying to stop a chariot, resisting the might of nature. Of course. This was an illusion brought about by the intent realm. The power of Zhao Feng's soul surpassed Yu Tianhao's, so he wouldn't feel any pressure. Eye of Ice Soul shooting line. Zhao Feng's left eye switched, and a translucent ray of light shot out from it. The dark blue ray of light emitted a bone-chilling coldness that struck one's soul and struck Yu Tianhao before he could react, and it pierced through space to strike Yu Tianhao. Boom! Yu Tianhao's body froze as he was struck by the dark blue beam of light. A terrifying icy power seeped into his mind from his physical body. His entire body froze, his attacks slowed, and he was basically interrupted. Break! Yu Tianhao's invisible mental will was like an indestructible blade. It was several times more condensed and tyrannical than a normal sword intent. It shattered the endless corrosive coldness. Yu Tianhao easily shattered the ice soul ray, which carried a chilling mental attack. Meanwhile, Claw of Wind and Thunder. As Zhao Feng waved his hand, a glistening and translucent giant claw that was surrounded by arcs of lightning and had a faint trace of purple light faintly suffused within it. The claw covered an area of a few hundred feet and just happened to block Yu Tianhao's tyrannical attack. Shoo shoo! Feng Ying's giant claw, which was surrounded by lightning, collided with the palm power that was as beautiful as an aurora, creating a terrifying explosion. The layers of clouds were shattered, emitting a destructive aura. Under the powerful shockwave, Zhao Feng's blue hair and clothes blew in the wind as he was forced back several steps. Unparalleled in the sacred true dragon gathering had been broken by Zhao Feng in such a way. Many of the spectators below were dumbfounded by what they saw. Zhao Feng's control of the situation is unparalleled. Deputy Patriarch Tima sighed. Yu Tianhao's attack was unstoppable for those below the Origin Core realm. Only a small number of half-step Origin Core realms could block it head-on and not be injured. However, Zhao Feng wouldn't allow Yu Tianhao to attack first and use the Ice Soul shooting line to weaken the opponent's attack. At this point in time, Yu Tianhao was barely able to dissolve the effects of the Ice Soul shooting line. Shua! Before he could even attack, a layer of ripples of wind and lightning arose in the surroundings, and then layer upon layer of chains of wind and lightning suddenly formed and restrained Yu Tianhao. So fast! Only then did everyone see a blue-haired youth surrounded by wind and lightning appear next to Yu Tianhao. He quickly released a range of wind and lightning chains to restrain his opponent. Yu Tianhao's expression changed dramatically as the numbing sensation from the lightning and the wind pressure made him fall into a disadvantageous situation. Unparalleled secret technique, chaotic dance of spring and autumn. His body erupted with a dazzling light as his intent swelled. He was like a god of war as he punched out with his palms and fists. Enormous fists and palms flew through the air like glittering crystal mountains, crushing down on Zhao Feng in every direction. At that moment, Yu Tianhao's every palm and punch contained a powerful mental energy intent that attacked the opponent's cultivation and soul. Even though Zhao Feng's soul was strong, his state of mind was still being attacked. If it was a normal peak True Lord rank, their state of mind would collapse after 1 or 2 rounds of attacks. That was because Yu Tianhao's will was able to drive an extremely strong intent realm, which was similar to the realm of supremacies. Crack! Crack! The chains of wind and lightning around Zhao Feng were shattered by the fists and palms. Wen Zhaofeng's expression changed as a ball of lightning appeared in his palm. In the middle of it was a whirlpool, and there was a purple dot of light that gave off a terrifying aura. Wind lightning tornado. As the ball of lightning twisted and spun, it suddenly expanded and expanded. Its center was like a bottomless abyss, and it was driven by a vortex-shaped purple dot of light. A huge lightning storm appeared around it, and its diameter grew larger and larger. In an instant, it reached a radius of 1,000 feet. Boom! The enormous lightning tornado, which emitted a trace of astonishing destructive aura, engulfed Yu Tianhao and the range of his unparalleled chaotic dance of spring and autumn. In just a few breaths, the sky above the mountain seemed to shatter and lightning flashed. Boom! Occasionally, a wisp of lightning would land and leave a crater dozens of yards wide. Everyone, watch out! The upper echelon of the Iron Blood religion panicked as they tried to deal with the unpredictable shockwave. The battle between the two overwhelming prodigies had created a storm of aura that would kill anyone at the true spirit realm. Unparalleled secret technique, chaotic dance of spring and autumn. Yu Tianhao was like a god of war, and although his attacks didn't seem to have any technique, they were able to seal everything nearby. Zhao Feng's wind lightning tornado was soon broken. I can't let him get close. Zhao Feng's heart shook. At this moment in time, Yu Tianhao was like a god that could kill anything in front of him. In terms of close combat, he indeed didn't have any advantage. Shua! Zhao Feng turned into a blur of lightning and used his speed to increase the distance between him and Yu Tianhao by 1 to 200 yards. However, Yu Tianhao wasn't a normal person either. He crossed half a mile in a single step and closed in. Unparalleled. Yu Tianhao's body surged with a powerful will that could sweep through the world. Bomei dazzling and mysterious giant palm of aurora, surrounded by traces of ice-cold crystal brilliance, resonated with the mighty yuan qi of the world. Wherever it passed, all things were crushed, and it seemed to have swallowed and assimilated an area of the world. At that instant, everything within a few miles seemed to be engulfed by this unparalleled palm. The sun and moon in the sky seemed to be swallowed and everything lost its color. The expressions of the two sovereigns below changed slightly. The hairs of the spectators stood on end and they felt as if they were facing a demonic god. The same palm appeared once more after Golden Sun's sacred city, and its power had increased by more than 50%. What a powerful palm! Zhao Feng's heart shook and his intent was impacted like never before. He couldn't help but take a deep breath. Suddenly, a faint purple light core the size of a thumb appeared in his palm. It was surrounded by layers of lightning balls, and its color became darker and darker. Finally, it fused with the faint purple light core in the middle. That's... The hearts of the two sovereigns below jumped as they felt a destructive aura. The faint purple core was the purple power of wind lightning that Zhao Feng had cultivated. It was surrounded by pure azure wind lightning. When that aura spread out, all living beings within a radius of 5 kilometers felt as if they were facing a natural disaster and were suffocating. Not a sound could be heard. Purple destruction, wind lightning break. The faint purple core in Zhao Feng's palm twisted into a whirlpool and merged with the azure wind lightning around it. It turned into a beam of azure and purple light that brought with it a forbidden aura. Boom boom boom! The sky was filled with two powerful forces that swallowed and destroyed each other. The spectators below were shocked and speechless. At this moment, they couldn't see the figures fighting above. They could only see the cold crystal light and the azure and purple light entangling with each other in a lightning storm. A few breaths later, as the purplish-green light shattered, wisps of destructive aura spread out. Puchi! Yu Tianhao's body shook, and blood was left on his shoulder as he groaned. At the same time, the outline of the giant palm didn't dissipate. It passed through the wind lightning tornado and exploded in front of Zhao Feng. Bam! The domineering power sent Xiao Feng flying dozens of yards, and blood leaked out of his mouth. D. A layer of mysterious blue water appeared on Xiao Feng's body, and under this nourishment, the light injury was healed in just 2 breaths. Below the mountain. The spectators held their breaths, as if they hadn't recovered from the shock. Xiao Feng's wind lightning seems to contain a wisp of destruction that's close to the origin. Patriarch Hong and Dao's sovereign Bai Yun looked at each other in surprise. The wisp of destruction power was still in its infancy, but it had already shocked the 2 sovereigns. If it was several times stronger, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yu Tianhao's palm just now can severely injure a half-step origin core realm. Luckily, Xiao Feng has comprehended a wisp of destruction wind lightning. The blood-haired Tiamat let out a breath. In the current situation, Xiao Feng had the upper hand. This was mainly because Xiao Feng's bloodline recovery speed was too strong. Normal injuries could be healed in an instant. This meant that Xiao Feng wouldn't lose in a battle against someone at the same cultivation level. Wind lightning eye flame. Xiao Feng didn't wait for Yu Tianhao to attack. His left eye turned azure, and azure flames of wind and lightning flashed within it. There was even a faint purple flame at the center of it. Whoosh! A translucent beam of wind lightning flame, with a faint purple flame heart beating within, twisted into a ball of wind that emitted a destructive and tyrannical aura. It whistled through the air as it struck Yu Tianhao. Yu Tianhao harumphed as he fell into danger. The wind lightning eye flame contained a wisp of the purple destruction flame that was part of the purple wind lightning. It destroyed one's life force and caused injuries that were hard to recover from. The power of the wind lightning eye flame also spread to one's soul. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.